The Blue Jays are clearly underperforming. In fact, they haven't won a series since the first one they played against the Athletics, and tonight face a team that's lost 5 in a row in Milwaukee. So let us send you to American Family Field. Here are the men who will call this game, Dan Shulman and Joe Siddall.
Jamie, each of these teams is banged up right now. Each of them has 3 significant hitters on the IL. And, Joe, for the guys who are healthy, it is not going to be an easy night here in this one.
If you're a fan of watching strikeouts, tonight is your night on both sides of the ball, starting with Kevin Gausman and the Blue Jays. He's back looking like the Kevin Gausman his first 2 years in a Blue Jays uniform. That ERA just over 2, but opponents hitting just $150 against him, but just 2 walks against 26 strikeouts. He's throwing his splitter more than his fastball for the first time in his career, and it's been outstanding at the bottom of the zone. On the other side, Jacob Misiorowski has a triple digits fastball. We will see them plenty tonight, and we'll see 100, 102. Blue Jays hitters are going to have to pick one. He's got 2 very good breaking pitches as well. I think as a hitter, you have to try to get one of the fastballs. Hope it's not the top rail of the zone. Those ones are tough to get to. That one right there. Bring him down a little bit, set your sights a little lower. Try to get him out of the game as soon as you can.
Go get them, hitters. Let's see what happens here tonight. Gausman and Misiorowski, the Milwaukee Brewers and the Blue Jays here at American Family Field as they open up this 3-game series.
All right, so let's take a deeper look at these two. First, Misiorowski's strikeouts per 9. You see it bottom right there? 15.4 is number 1 in baseball, and Gausman's bottom left, 13.5, is number 3 in the game. Here is Gausman's manager on why he has been so effective.
You know, I think Kev really, for one, his delivery has been so good since the first day of camp. And when that's good, you know, his command is good. He's getting ahead of hitters at the rate he usually does, with the exception of maybe a little bit of a couple months, I think, a couple years ago. But when he's getting ahead of hitters, he's really good and understands when to throw each pitch, I think, and where to throw each pitch. And when Kev's at his best, he's getting the fastball up, fastball down, and the split's kind of carrying the zone. That's what it's been so far. But delivery has been so sound, and I think he really understands his game. And he's doing a really good job of reading hitters and kind of what they're trying to do.
That is true. He's made 3 starts. The problem, Madison, the Blue Jays have scored a grand total of 5 runs for Gausman. So clearly Schneider, based on the lineup he's formulated for this one, is relying on 3 hitters right at the top, Clement, Varsho, and Guerrero, to help out a little bit in that respect.
And they've got a tough test going for them, too, as you heard Joe just talking about with Jacob Misiorowski. And when you look at his last start against the Boston Red Sox, in their first couple of innings, he was pumping 100, 101, even touching 102 at times. Now, as that game went on, you saw the fastball velocity drop down. Now it's dropping down to a mere 98, 99 miles per hour, but it is dropping down a little bit. But the hitters, to me, just have to figure out a way to get on time with that fastball and have the adjustability with their barrels to be able to get to some of those breaking balls. You take somebody like Ernie Clement, he can hit a pitch that's up over his head, but he can also hit one that's practically bouncing. I would not be surprised if you see Ernie going up there being aggressive early in the count. Dalton Varsho in the 2 spot tonight. When you look back at the series against the Twins, a lot of his hits came on fastballs at the top of the zone. Now, they weren't coming in at 100 miles per hour, but to me, when he's making that type of contact, I think you're starting to see strides in the right direction for him. And for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the times where we've seen him struggle over the past couple of years has been with his timing. And I would not be surprised if we see Misiorowski trying to throw those heaters in on the hands to Vladdy to make sure that he doesn't get extended. But at some point, you can almost take a chance, too. If you know you're going to see one of those fastballs, take a chance, be okay with swinging and missing, because this is a pitcher that's going to strike out over 13 batters a game. So you're going to see those strikeouts. But to me, this is a game where this offense can take some of those chances to drive the ball hard.
Elsewhere, you might have witnessed the Yankees and Angels a night ago. That was a wild one. Tonight's started out wildly, too. How about this? Mike Trout, second batter of the game, hits a home run off Ryan Weathers, whose dad, David, won a World Series with the Yankees in '96. Next batter is Joe Adele. He drives one out as well. The batter after that is Jorge Soler, and he hits one as 2.
Talk about a tough start. You haven't even had a chance to pick up the bats yet, and you're already down by 3.
And there's young Ryan saying, I'm not playing for the Marlins anymore. It's 3-0 for the Angels at Yankee Stadium. Boy, Kevin Gausman would love to see that kind of early run support, wouldn't he?
Great.
As he goes up against the Milwaukee Brewers tonight on Sportsnet. We've got the first pitch coming your way right after this.
Red Tag Days are on now at your local Toyota dealer.
Welcome to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet, and welcome to American Family Field, the home of the Milwaukee Brewers. Dan Schulman, Joe Siddall, Hazel May, and boy, is it good news that there is a roof in this place. There is severe weather in the area right now. Tornado warnings have been issued for the greater Milwaukee area for the next 30 to 45 minutes, but the roof is closed. They've also got panels they can keep open or closed. Obviously, everything is shut tight right now, and at least as of now, it's play ball. The Wisconsin native, Dalton Varsho, hitting in the 2 spot again tonight for the Blue Jays, and hitting extremely well, especially in that Minnesota series. Jesus Sanchez batting cleanup again. Second start for Eloy Jimenez. Brandon Valenzuela makes his 4th consecutive start. Tyler Heineman feeling better. The back spasms are subsiding, but John Schneider giving him another day. As you talked about just moments ago, they will face one of the hardest throwers in the majors.
Jacob Misiorowski is a 24-year-old right-hander. He's 6'7". He was a second-round draft pick of the Brewers out of high school in 2022. Debuted in the big leagues last season. Made 14 starts, pitched to an ERA over 4, but the walks were up, but so were the strikeouts, and he's at it again this year. In his last start against the Red Sox, he pitched into the 6th inning, but he walked 4, struck out 10, double-digit strikeouts in 2 of his first 3 starts this year.
So are you aggressive? Do you try to wait him out because his control can come and go a little bit? We know Ernie Clement is always aggressive. A guy with a big fastball and a guy who likes to hit a fastball to get it started tonight. Up and away. Ball 1 to Clement, coming off a 3-hit game on Sunday against the Twins. Ernie has raised his average to .311 on the season. And that'll miss outside. Ball 2. Even if he's a little erratic with his command just to the first hitter, does that maybe change the focus a little bit for the next guys coming up?
I think everyone's going to have the focus, but I like your latter option. Make him be in the zone. He can be erratic. Give him a chance to be erratic, because it might not pay off in the 1st or 2nd inning. Maybe he goes 5 instead of 6 or 7. Maybe he goes 4 instead of 5.
Just his 2nd year in the big leagues, and last year was only up for about half a season. The 2-1 is popped way up in the air near first base. Jake Bauers is in, and in fair territory makes the catch for the first down of the night.
Defensively behind the Brewers, right-hander Luis Matos gets the start in left field. Christian Yelich hit the injured list today. Garrett Mitchell in center, and Sal Frelick in that Gold Glove in right field. On the infield, left to right, David Hamilton and Joey Ortiz. On the right side, another one, Bryce Terang with that Gold Glove. He can pick it. Also a Platinum Glove winner. Jake Bauers at first base, and behind the plate, William Contreras.
Way inside. Ball 1 to Dalton Varsho. As we mentioned, Varsho is a Wisconsin native, lives about an hour and a half west of here, went to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, not far at all from here. And there's the first breaking ball, and that one is not close. So he's got a slider, he's got a curveball, but 2nd hitter in a row that he's fallen behind 2-0. The swing there by Varsho as it's fouled back within about 2 feet of Joe Siddall.
That was coming in hot.
That was coming in hot, and it is 2-1.
Kind of glad it hit the wall in front of us, Dan. Might have saved a finger or 2.
Swings through a fastball, 2-2.
That's the pitch right there that I think Blue Jays hitters are going to have to get to. The fastball that's more down in the zone in the middle area as opposed to the elevated one. That top one is tough to get to.
6'7" with triple-digit velocity. And how the 6'7" comes into play is great extension down the mound. So he's actually closer to the plate when he releases the ball than just about any other pitcher, and that can make 100 feel like 102. It can play up a couple of ticks. Swing and a miss to get him 2 down.
Well, that Blue Jays are going to see a lot of that right there. High heat, and he just blows it right by Varsho.
So a pop-up and a strikeout for the first couple of outs of the night. First time Mizorowski's ever seen the Blue Jays. Didn't face him last year. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hitting .321 on the season. Outside for ball 1 to Vladdy. He's got 1 home run on the year. Getting on base a ton. He's got a .446 on base percentage. 8 for 15 in his last 4 games. And a slider is in there. Oh no, a fastball. Forgive me. A fastball at 97. Looked like it had a little cut on it there.
Cut to it.
Yeah.
You see, he will cut across that fastball once in a while. A lot of them will be away to righties, into lefties, that glove side of the pitcher.
You can see Guerrero hardly striking out at all this year. And a challenge coming early from the catcher, William Contreras, who has been very aggressive and very good at this in recent games.
Vladdy's better.
This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers, and it goes the Blue Jays' way. So the Brewers lose one of their challenges here in the top of the first. That's a strike. Outside corner at the knees. What can you do with that?
It looks like Vladdy's thinking of challenging now. 2 close pitches.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And the pitch. In the air to right field. Frelick is going back. Will make the catch shy of the track as Mizorowski has a 3-up, 3-down, top of the first.
Guests.
Pat Murphy, the manager of the Brewers, universally known as Murph, the National League Manager of the Year, not only last year, the last 2 seasons. The Brewers had the best record in all of baseball last year with 97 wins, and one of the reasons is they've got one of the best second basemen in all of baseball in Bryce Terang. Normally, the leadoff man, he's dropped down to 3 because Christian Yelich is on the IL. They're trying to figure it out on the fly right now with their lineup, just like the Blue Jays are. Missing Christian Yelich, Andrew Vaughn, and Jackson Chourio, and tonight they will face Kevin Gausman.
Well, the kid, Jacob Mizorowski, is going up against the veteran, 35-year-old Kevin Gausman. He's in his 14th big league season, his 5th with the Blue Jays, making his first road start of the season, and the walk-strikeout ratio has been outstanding. I think the one thing Kevin's doing this year, when he's using his slider more than the fastball, to me, he's got such a nasty pitch in that splitter, he's using it more. I think that's made his fastball better. We'll see him dotted at the bottom of the zone at times, making hitters very indecisive.
He is throwing his splitter 48% of the time this year, the highest percentage of his career. He misses outside, ball 1 to Sal Frelick, moved up to the leadoff spot. So again, they lost Christian Yelich on Sunday to a groin injury. He's going to be out several weeks. Dropped Terang down to move Frelick up. Milwaukee's lost 5 in a row after they started the year 8-2, and in those 5 games, Joe, they've scored only 12 runs.
This is interesting. Pat Murphy's club is one of those 80s style clubs. They're going to pound it into the ground. They're going to use their team speed. They may have to do it even more now with some of their bats out.
They lead the majors in stolen bases with 24. Fastball that Frelick swings under, and it's 1-2. Frelick, a .288 hitter a season ago. He's hitting just .188 so far this year, but again, it's really early, and just goes to show you that the Blue Jays aren't the only team that's struggling right now. The Brewers have lost 5 in a row. The Mets are really going through it right now. You want to talk about a team going through it. Read a couple of stories about what the Houston Astros are going through right now. They've been devastated by injuries in their rotation. They've lost 8 in a row. There's all kinds of stuff going on around baseball. The 1-2 taken just low by Frelick.
That's a very impressive take based on how we've seen Kevin pitch this year. So clearly that's what the Brewers hitters are thinking. This is only the first one, but that can be a team-wide approach, and that's maybe when he sticks a fastball at the bottom of the zone now.
Got in on his hands, and it's popped up on the right side of the infield. And it'll be Clement with Vladdy messing around beside him for out number 1 as we show you the Blue Jay defense tonight.
Behind Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays, Jesus Sanchez back out in left field. Varsho in center. Nathan Lucas gets the start in right. And on the left side, it's Okamoto and Jimenez with those 3 gold gloves. They were at second, but he's a shortstop now. Clement and Vladdy on the right side, and Brandon Valenzuela, yet another start, as Dan mentioned. Heineman feeling better. He's available if needed tonight, but not good enough for the start.
Did take some BP, definitely feeling better than he did a couple of days ago, so probably back in there, if not tomorrow night, then Thursday afternoon. Here's one of the better catchers in the game in William Contreras. You can see the offensive numbers he has put up early this season. The brother of Wilson Contreras, and Milwaukee and Boston played this past week, and they got into it. Wilson Contreras, who had been a Cub and a Cardinal for many years in his career, so no love lost with the Brewers. He got hit by a pitch, grazed, but hit by a pitch. He took offense, and his brother's the catcher for the other team. But you know what? I mean, that counts for something, obviously, but when you're wearing this jersey and I'm wearing that jersey, you put all that stuff aside.
Christmas dinner, they might sit next to each other, but not in April.
This guy's a good player, though, and he plays a lot. He plays about as much as any catcher in the game. Gausman in front of him, 1-2, and a splitter taken low.
2 hitters, 2 pretty good takes on Kevin Splitter at the bottom of the zone. Just something to keep an eye on, because that's when I think Kevin will come back and try to use that fastball at the bottom.
Valenzuela the target. And the 2-2, another one just low. That one was closer, but it's 3-2. And obviously Gausman has been at this long enough. He picks up really quickly if teams are taking those splitters just below the knees. Working with a rookie catcher in Brandon Valenzuela. Missed inside with a fastball for ball 4. So the first base runner of the night for either side belongs to the Brewers, and that'll bring up Turang. Turang hitting almost 300, hit a couple of home runs on Sunday against Washington, his 2nd and 3rd on the season. Has really kind of grown into his power the last couple of years. After the first 2 years, he was much more likely, like still a very good player, but much more likely to line a ball here, line a ball there. Contreras the lead, being held on by Guerrero. William Contreras does not have a steal on the season. As Turang now in the hole, 0-2.
That's an outstanding job by Valenzuela there. Barely caught the corner. If it did, probably outside off the edge, but no challenge. And that's where a catcher can really change the count. It's 0-2 right now instead of 1-1.
Well, and they're down a challenge already.
Yes.
So you don't want to, I mean, almost assuredly they would never use another challenge here in the next few innings unless they're 200% sure.
And you've got your arguably best hitter at the plate too. Good job by Valenzuela, though.
The 1-2. Check swing. 2-2.
And that's where that conversation with the ABS challenge system, everybody thought the catcher's receiving pitches isn't going to matter anymore, but it absolutely matters, because if you only get 2 challenges, you can still steal a lot of strikes throughout the course of a ball game.
Outside, a full count, and the pitch count getting up there for Gausman here in the first inning. He got Frelick, but it was a deep count. He walked Contreras, and now it's a full count on Turang. Contreras not running, and it's slashed foul down the left field line.
Back-to-back hitters in the lineup here, and Contreras and Turang, they're early in the season, but they're walking as much as they're striking out. That's always a very good indication for the tough plate appearance they give you.
Gausman comes set again. And another 3-2 and another foul off. And this is where if you're Pat Murphy, you don't know if you're going to get any runs at all here in the first inning. But already this bottom of the first has to feel like a bit of a win for the Brewers, given how many pitches they're making Gausman throw.
And I don't think he can put Contreras in motion because Kevin's a strikeout pitcher, despite Terang being at the plate.
3-2 again. And a swing and a miss to get him for a big second out.
Well, he went right back out there. Terang saw a lot throughout the course of the at-bat, but he gets him on the heater away. It looked like he was trying to come in, but it worked.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Buy 1 foot long, get 1 free with a $0 delivery fee. Offer ends April 26th. Use the code to save on this Subway digital exclusive. So 2 down, and here's Gary Sanchez. Yes, that Gary Sanchez,
yes.
The same guy, the guy who came up as a catcher with the Yankees, had a big rookie season, a ton of power. He's bounced around from team to team to team in recent years. With Christian Yelich, who had been the primary DH, going on the IL, now Sanchez figures to get a lot of time in the DH spot for the Brewers. He's also the backup catcher. And with Andrew Vaughn, their first baseman, on the IL, he also had been acting as the backup first baseman. That has not gone very well, and I don't think they want to play him at first unless they have to, but they do want to have the bat in the lineup. He is still dangerous. 1-1 from Gausman. Fouled back into the screen, 1-2. In fact, Gary Sanchez, while playing first a few days ago, after bobbling a ball, tried to throw it as quickly as he could and as hard as he could to first base and hit his pitcher, Kyle Harrison, in the knee to the point where Harrison might miss a start. The 1-2. And it misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Valenzuela wants a challenge. Did it catch the inside corner or not?
Ball, the catcher is challenging.
Home plate umpire David Arackley telling us what's going on, and that misses inside. So now
Pitches the ball.
Each team is down a challenge.
It's tough because it's early to lose the challenge in the ball game if you're Valenzuela. Quite the gamble he took there. He lost this one.
Now the 2-2. A fly ball to left field, backpedaling a couple of steps. Jesus Sanchez will make the catch, and it's a scoreless bottom of the first for Gausman.
Here for what's next.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. Well, George Springer doing his best to keep things in perspective just a few days after landing on the IL with that fractured toe. Now, with the calendar still in April, he knows this is a time he can afford to let that toe heal properly. Now, the next day or so will shape what comes next, but there's no denying he wants to get back out there. The hope is he'll only require the minimum 10 days. I want to play, so if I feel good to go, I'm going to try. I'll leave that up to Schneid's and the staff, but I'm going to try to push the envelope. Springer recalls the pain being intense, but he still intended to take his next at-bat. That is until x-rays revealed the fracture and the medical staff just shut it down. John Schneider said it is important to keep Springer around the clubhouse so he doesn't feel like he's too far removed from this team. And of course, Dan, leave it to Springer to give me the old reality check. He said it's just a bone, it'll grow back.
Hazel, thank you. So George Springer's going to be in the dugout at least for the next several days, maybe at some point. I actually don't think he leaves the team, like to go to Florida or anything like that, like some of the other players have. He's here, and I'm sure they love having his energy here. And a direct quote from John Schneider when asked about Springer before the game was, quote, "He's feeling surprisingly okay." So that is good news in the short term. Again, maybe it's just the minimum 10 days or close to that. He actually could be eligible before the end of the road trip, but if it's 10 days and a little bit more, maybe when the Blue Jays get back home. I thought by 2026 Blue Jay health standards, it was a bit of a positive day in terms of the information that John Schneider was giving out. Some of that centered around the pitchers, Trey Savage, Jose Barrios. Addison Barger has gone to Florida. He is going to begin baseball activities later in the week. 1-2 the count. Jesus Sanchez leading off the second against Jacob Mizorowski. And that is a base hit. He hits it the other way beyond the reach of the third baseman David Hamilton, and Sanchez has a leadoff single.
Well, that's one way to beat him. Just hit him where they're not playing you. That's a bit of an accident the way this ball gets in on him. See how deep it got at 98 on the inside part of the plate. But he just shoots it the other way over the head of Hamilton.
I would guess if Mizorowski had to do it again, he would elevate that ball. Probably was trying to elevate that ball a little bit more. That's where pitchers have been going after Sanchez.
Pretty good pitch, right? You're not going to beat too much over that contact.
Here's Eloy Jimenez DHing again. His second game as a Blue Jay, went 2 for 4 Sunday against the Twins. So he figures to get the majority of the DH at bats when Springer is on the IL. Very high with a fastball, 1-1. What we saw, and I think you touched on this, in his last start against Boston, he was kind of 99 to 101 his first 3 innings, and it was more like 96 to 98 in his last 2+ innings. Now it's still 96 to 98, but the velocity, and he admitted to some fatigue by the end of his start. He's just 24 years old, not even a full year in the big leagues. His manager Pat Murphy said before the game today, when you're a young pitcher, there's a new challenge every day. Ahead of Jimenez, 1-2. A long hold by Mizorowski. He took that right down to 1 second on the clock, and I don't think it was Sanchez at first. I think he was just trying to make Jimenez at the plate a little bit uncomfortable.
He might be playing games out there, trying to manipulate that clock any way he can. Remember when the pitch clock first came out, we heard pitchers talking like that. Try to work it to your advantage. Clipping down again.
He barely beat it that time.
Yep.
He obviously can see it. There are clocks behind home plate too, so they're in full view of the pitcher.
No secret where he's throwing that fastball, though.
No.
It is going to be at the top of the zone. Find a way to get on top somehow.
Jimenez lifts a high fly ball to right, but it is playable for Frelick. And that's the first out here, top 2.
The slider is so hard that you can just try to stay on the fastball and maybe still get to that slider, but you can't. I don't think you can look spin because you're not getting to that 98 and 100 if you're sitting on that slider.
Yeah, he's thrown fastballs 94, 95, one even clocked in at 97 according to Statcast. Here's Nathan Lucas. And he does not get a fastball on the first pitch. That's a slider. It's not huge, and it is 93, but that was a slider. He's got a curveball too that he'll throw a little bit more to left-handed batters.
And if you're going to hit the slider, that's the one to hit too. That was coming back to Nathan right in the middle of the plate. He's had a tough time early in this season trying to find that stroke.
When you're having a tough time, it probably feels like every at bat you're 0-2.
Amazing, isn't it? But if he can do what he does best right here and make this a 6 or 7 pitch at bat, it'd be kind of mission accomplished.
Strike 3 call. Boy, that's kind of a slow and somewhat low-key third strike call from David Rackley, but it gets Lucas for out number 2.
Those are the things that happen also when you're scuffling. Pitchers make pitches like this. This is the slower breaking ball. Starts out in the right-handed batter's box and just comes back to catch the edge.
That's the curveball.
Yep.
So 2 down, and now Kazuma Okamoto gets his first look at Mizorowski. Okamoto had a very good first few days this season, but he has gone cold. He is hitting 133 4 for 30 over his last 8 games.
That's a good swing right there, though. Look for the fastball, think fastball, and if he throws the other one, you may swing and miss wildly, but that's okay. The only way to hit the heater is to be ready for it. Same thing right there. We're seeing more and more teams. We've seen it against Okamoto early in this season. The fastball's away and up and away, and then of course the breaker's down and away. He's a pull hitter. He's a home run hitter that pulls the baseball in the air, and I think he's just really pulling off of the baseball while all of the pitches are away from him. Bad combo.
That one's outside. A ball and 2 strikes. Mizorowski at 101 on that one. A look over his left shoulder at Jesus Sanchez, who began this top of the second with a base hit. And now the 1-2 to Okamoto. It's a broken bat, soft liner to second, and that will retire the side as the leadoff single is left aboard. No score here in Milwaukee.
Brewers tomorrow on Sportsnet 1.
Well, as Joe told you right off the top of the show, there could be a lot of strikeouts in this game. These two guys are 1-2 among qualified pitchers in the majors so far this year in strikeout percentage. Mizorowski striking out almost 42% of the hitters he has faced. Gausman striking out better than 40% of the hitters he has faced. There could be some big strikeout totals here tonight.
Well, you know, Mizorowski does it with that fastball, and we talked about the triple digits, but that's his big swing and miss pitch. Gausman, of course, with the splitter. Different pitchers do it different ways. Schlittler with the Yankees has the big fastball as well. Mackenzie Gore relies more on the curveball. So different strokes for different folks. The one thing that Kevin is so impressive is he really keeps the walks down, and that to me, that's ace stuff when it's low walks, high strikeouts.
By the way, if you were looking at today's game and you saw Gausman with 2 different ERA totals, it's because a correction was made. Remember when he hit the batter runner, Alex Freeland bunted, and he hit him going down the line, hit him in the back. Originally it was called a fielder's choice, no error on the play, so a run that scored later in the inning was earned. Apparently just maybe today or yesterday that was changed to a throwing error on Gausman, and that made the run unearned, so it lowered his ERA down to 1.56 entering the game today. There's a ground ball past the mound and right to Jimenez as Jake Bauers is retired for the first out here, bottom 2.
It's very important as a pitcher that you know where your defenders are behind you, and he knows with a left-handed batter, Mr. Jimenez is going to be right behind that second base bag. Kevin does not even go for the baseball. Just let it go by. You know you've got some gold in behind you.
One down. Here is the left fielder, Luis Matos, former San Francisco Giant. He'll swing at the first pitch and pop one up for Guerrero right near first base. And after a lot of pitches in that first inning for Gausman, great to get a couple of quick outs here, bottom 2.
You love to play catch up like that. 25 pitches that first inning, and he's hoping to catch up and get back on track here. And you can do that with some quick outs, especially first pitch.
Now Garrett Mitchell, the center fielder, a former first-round pick back in 2020. A 256 lifetime hitter. He's at 278 this year. He shows bunt. Pulls the bat back and looks at a strike. That's always interesting. And maybe he wasn't planning on bunting it.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to see some pitches.
Right, because it was right down the middle.
Yeah. Doesn't want that pitcher to have that quick of an inning.
And now quickly it's 0-2.
It's tough when you're the third guy up in the inning and it's 2 batters go down that fast. You almost have to take a pitch. So you find yourself behind 0-1, and before you know it, you're down 0-2 to a strikeout pitcher.
And you haven't seen the splitter yet. You did right there, but he didn't chase it. Ball 1. Mitchell getting most of the reps in center field with the Brewers, with Jackson Churio on the IL. Out at least a couple more weeks. Swing and a miss. He was not close to that one, and that's a very good inning for Gausman, picking up his second strikeout of the night. Both pitchers looking sharp in the early going. No score after 2. Another Junior Jays Sunday presented by Ontario Honda Dealers. Bring the whole family for a day of games, artists, and live performers. And kids can run the bases just like their favorite Blue Jays following the game. Visit BlueJays.com/promotions to grab your tickets today. The beginning of a long road trip for the Blue Jays. Got some Blue Jays fans and a Buffalo Bills fan here in Milwaukee. 3 here, 3 in Arizona, 3 in Anaheim. Here's Andres Jimenez, who will take 97 for a strike. Jimenez off to a nice start, hitting .278, a couple of home runs, 9 driven in, hitting .351 against right-handed pitching. You know, with the acquisition of Lenin Sosa from the White Sox, who was on the roster, available today, you wonder if every now and again with a lefty on the mound, does that mean maybe Jimenez gets a day off here and there against a lefty? Ernie Clement slides to short, and there's Lenin Sosa, just picked up from the White Sox. He can play second, also some third, some first. Strike 3 called, and Jimenez wants to challenge.
Wow.
Pitch was called a strike. The batter is challenging.
That's early. You have to be sure.
Yeah. They've already lost one. And that is strike 3, and the Blue Jays are out of challenges in the 3rd inning. And that's one. You've lost one. It's early in the game. It's not a high leverage situation. There's nobody on base. That's the kind of challenge that John Schneider does not want to see his players take.
No, especially near the bottom of the order so early in the ball game. And again, these are conversations that are going to have to continue to happen. I'm sure he's not overly pleased with that decision.
You know, maybe you'd feel differently if there are runners at second and third or something like that. But again, early in the game, nobody on base.
And I get it from a hitter's perspective, but that's where you have to take that selfish attitude away and understand where you are in the ball game. And it's 0-2.
Brandon Valenzuela looks at a curveball for a strike, and Mizorowski's out in front, 0-2. Swing and a miss, and he has retired the first 2 on 6 pitches here with a couple of strikeouts.
This is what we were talking about, his fastball. He uses the top of the zone so much, but he also yanks it across and pulls it glove side into the lefties, away to the righties a lot. Not necessarily by design. Certainly works for him because it's such a good fastball.
Top of the order, Ernie Clement gets his second look at Mizorowski. He went around, says home plate umpire David Rackley. It's 0-1. Clement popped up to the first baseman his first time up.
And that's what's going to happen if you go up looking for a fastball and he throws a slider. But that's okay. I think you have to stay with that plan. It's your best option to get to this guy.
Slider at 95. I mean, not that long ago, if you had a fastball at 95, that was something. Now 94, 95 is like average in the majors, and this guy's throwing a slider at 95. Clement lifts a fly ball to right center. It's carrying a bit. Frelick is back and has to go to the track to make the catch, but he hauls it in for the 3rd out.
Discover this week's deals online or in the flyer.
Welcome back. We got some encouraging news on the rotation. Reinforcements on their way. Trey Savage will pitch for the Bisons in Rochester tomorrow. They're looking for 4 innings, 65, 70 pitches. If all goes well, best case scenario, Savage could join the team in Anaheim. Schneider calling it a definite possibility. As for Jose Barrios, Dan, he'll throw for Dunedin Thursday. They're aiming for 3 innings, 50 pitches. His buildup could be expedited if everything kind of checks off the boxes. Barrios is a start behind Savage. The good news is he is still not feeling any symptoms in that right elbow. Guys?
So as we mentioned, thank you, Hazel, a little bit before, you know, John Schneider, unfortunately for him and everybody, has had to give out a lot of bad news about injuries and health recently, but today was actually kind of encouraging. So as Hazel said, for Trey Savage, who will pitch in Rochester for Buffalo tomorrow, it sounds like 1, maybe 2 rehab starts until he rejoins the team. And Jose Barrios, Joe, sounds like 2, maybe 3 until he joins the team. And it's just so important. There's been a lot of upheaval in the rotation. They haven't gotten a lot of innings out of 3 of the 5 spots, really, other than Gausman and Cease. They're just looking for stability, predictability, just a chance to give the bullpen a little bit more rest.
Well, especially when you think about how this season was supposed to start with your 5 starters. And of course, we keep going back to that devastating injury to Cody Ponce. That's a big miss. You're really relying on Gausman and Cease right now.
Joey Ortiz will lead it off for the Brewers here, bottom of the 3rd. He's their shortstop, a very good defensive shortstop, but has not hit much at all in the big leagues. This year he's hitting .220. He was acquired in the Corbin Burns deal with the Orioles prior to the 2024 season. It's a ground ball to 3rd, scooped up by Okamoto, who will make the play. Well, as we mentioned, the starters have not been giving the Blue Jays a lot of innings. Certainly not Gausman's fault, certainly not Cease's fault, but even those 2 guys, neither one of them has been able to go 6 in any of these last 9 games. But when you see a 1 and a 2 and another 2 and a 2 and a 3rd, I mean, that's asking for trouble. And granted, some extenuating circumstances, Scherzer's forearm, Lauer's illness. But you really want to see that kind of a graphic with 5s and 6s and 7s without 1s and 2s.
Yeah, and I think Kevin certainly can hold that down. Dylan Cease wants to. That's what's the #1 goal, is to be able to pitch a little bit deeper, be a little bit more efficient.
Number 9 hitter, the former Boston Red Sox player, David Hamilton. The Blue Jays have been a little bit fortunate, too, in that they've had 3 recent off days. Tonight starts a stretch of 22 games in 23 days. They need innings out of their starters.
That's where it can catch up to. The bullpen's been excellent. They were very good in that last series.
Swing and a miss. Gausman gets Hamilton for his 3rd strikeout of the night.
Looks like that splitter might be fading away a little bit more than we've seen from Kevin. We've talked before about that grip he has on it. Ideally, he wants that thing going straight down. When it starts going away a little bit, it can act like a little bit more like a changeup. That's not his desired result, but getting a swing and miss is.
Top of the order, Sal Frelick. You know, this early in the season, when you're the #1 guy, the opening day starter, as Gausman was, you're still usually matching up with the other team's #1 guy. That changes pretty quickly. This team's got an off day, that team doesn't. But boy, Gausman does not seem to get a lot of run support. This is looped to shallow right center field, and a great effort by Lucas, but he cannot make the play. And that will go as a base hit for Frelick.
Just off the end of the bat, so he didn't get it good at all. Lucas had a long way to come in right field. It looked like he was going to land in the gap. Nathan was closing on it fast, but just couldn't get there.
A matter of inches. It goes as a base hit for Frelick. Again, the Brewers like to run a lot. Keep an eye on that. Frelick does not have a stolen base this year as William Contreras steps in, but Frelick did steal 19 bases last year.
Pretty good time to try, too, with 2 outs. Hitter already down a strike.
Small lead, not going. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Once again, Gausman throwing strikes. 43 tonight, 43 pitches, 30 strikes.
A little fastball heavy early on. That pitch is in the zone more than the splitter.
Runner goes. And it's popped up for Guerrero. Just back at first. He'll make the catch in foul territory, and another very good inning for Kevin Gausman. Both starters are dealing.
Get paid out early with Bet365.
Welcome back. Dalton Varsho struck out swinging in his first at-bat facing Jacob Mizorowski. He told me that we just cannot give away easy outs because you extend him further into the ball game. So our main goal is to get to him and get him out of the ball game as fast as we can. He's a really good pitcher, and there's a reason why Mizorowski was named to the All-Star game with very limited experience. Varsho said, we know he's a special talent. We've got to be ready to hit that fastball. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. He hasn't walked anybody tonight, although, Joe, he fell behind all 3 batters in the first inning, but he came back to get them, and he's only at 41 pitches through 3.
Yeah, pretty efficient. That's exactly what the Blue Jays want to do. Make him throw more pitches, as Dalton said. Problem is, you also don't want to fall behind too much. It's like facing Gausman. The last thing you want to get to do is get the 2 strikes.
Varsho leading off the 4th. Big cut at that fastball, and he fouled it off over third base.
When we hear the term get on top of a fastball, clearly you're not getting up and chopping down to that pitch, but the idea is to flatten that bat path out as much as you can at the top of the zone to get to it. He's got great extension, so he's coming down the mound, and the ball is really getting on you quicker than it seems.
Mizorowski, a 2nd-round pick in 2022 out of a junior college, Crowder College. Just a handful of big leaguers have ever come out of Crowder College. Another foul off over third base, 1-2. And unsurprisingly, Mizorowski challenging Varsho with the fastballs up in the zone, as so many pitchers tend to do. And if you've got Mizorowski's fastball, why wouldn't you? Lifted in the air to very shallow left field, and it'll be caught by Matos, the left fielder, coming in, 1 down. So far just 1 base runner for the Blue Jays. Jesus Sanchez had a single in the 2nd. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who flied out to right his first time up. There with the strike.
There it is again, glove side, away to the right of that side of the plate. That's where the natural location of that heater goes. Catcher set up out there again. Slider this time.
And he catches the corner with it. It's 0-2. This is a much more locked into the zone Jacob Mizorowski than sometimes the Brewers see. Guerrero bounces one to short. Big hop for Ortiz. 2 down.
Get game-changing internet and Canada's most reliable internet. Rogers Xfinity. We got you.
Back here in Milwaukee with Joe Siddall and Hazel May, I'm Dan Schulman. No score, top 4. The roof closed. We mentioned there were tornado warnings in the area a little bit earlier. It appears that maybe some of the rain is falling through the roof a little bit. There might be a couple of small cracks as Sanchez loops one down the left field line, foul. We saw Kevin Gausman when he came off the mound at the end of the 3rd kind of looking up to the roof and then smiled, and you caught it at some point. You saw it as well. Like, everything seems to be okay and the game's progressing, and hopefully the weather outside is not too damaging, too bad, but a little bit of water in here, it seems.
We think we're indoors.
We would like to be indoors.
There's that tough breaking pitch. It's got the curveball and the slider, and when you're doing that with that high 90s fastball, you have to commit early, and that's why I said you may look silly on some of the breaking balls, but try to get to the fastball.
0-2. Takes that fastball high for ball 1.
And I say that because he throws the fastball a lot. This isn't a guy that's throwing it less than half the time. He throws the fastball a fair bit. You're generally going to get 1 or 2 each at bat.
Off the glove of Contreras, 2-2.
Contreras looked like he had no desire to even catch that pitch. It was so bad. Out of the zone.
Up and away again, now full. Boy, Contreras fired that ball back to the mound.
You know, that can be one of those things where you're trying to motivate your pitcher, like, let's go, get that ball back down the zone, like a little pump me up sort of thing.
Yep.
Doesn't work for everybody. You have to know who your pitcher is.
To center field and down for a base hit. And Jesus Sanchez is 2 for 2.
There's the fastball. Don't miss it. Sanchez has done it twice tonight. That one again riding in, but he just gets it out of there and clears it at 99 on the inside edge.
So the Blue Jays have 2 hits and Sanchez has both of them. And with 2 outs, he's at first for Eloy Jimenez, who lifted a fly ball to right field his first time out. And a slider, and he fouled it off. 0-1. How hard would you say was the fastest slider that you ever would have faced?
Oh my gosh, the hardest slider was probably like 91, 92.
Right.
That was extreme a long time ago.
And this guy's hitting 95 with his slider.
I remember being in Double-A and we were playing against Cleveland. It was Canton Akron, Double-A. Remember the name Rudy Cienes?
Yeah.
That's the first time we heard 100. He came out of the bullpen, and it was the buzz of the ballpark. Right. I think it was the buzz of all of minor league baseball.
And that was with his fastball.
Fastball, yeah.
Yes.
And you're probably talking 1991, I guess it was, 91 or 92. That's when I first heard of 100 triple digits.
The 0-1. And that is in there at 97. Quickly 0-2 on Jimenez.
So he's the kind of guy that might have had like a 91-mile-an-hour slider. But yes, now it's a little bit more commonplace, isn't it?
Jimenez digs in as Mizorowski waits. A glance at Sanchez. And the 0-2. To shallow right center field. It'll be Mitchell, the center fielder, to make the catch. And that base hit is stranded. There's still no score. Well, there sure have been some iconic home runs throughout the first 50 seasons of the Blue Jays franchise. Now is your chance to have 5 of the most legendary homers on one t-shirt. On May 11th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays legendary home run t-shirt presented by Ryobi. Learn more at bluejays.com/promotions. Never mind, no home runs, no runs in this one. Scoreless going to the bottom of the 4th. Both Jacob Mizorowski and Kevin Gausman have been at the peak of their games. Here's Bryce Terang to lead it off, and he rips it into right field for a base hit. Second hit of the night for the Brewers.
Terang is a guy too that you're not necessarily thinking he's going up hacking at the first pitch. Kevin trying to get ahead with that fastball. Velocity way down on that pitch too, and he gets to it easily on the inner part of the plate.
And Terang 5 for 6 stealing a base this year. Had 24 last year. Had 50 2 years ago. Here's Gary Sanchez. And Gausman will try to keep Terang honest over at first. Bryce Terang was the starting second baseman for Team USA at the World Baseball Classic. Blocked by Valenzuela. The other second baseman was Ernie Clement. Ernie started, I believe, one game, got a little playing time in a couple of others, but Terang got the lion's share of the playing time. They lockered next to one another, didn't know each other at all. And Clement told me before the game today, like, he and Terang have become great buddies. He said Terang was always a guy I kind of admired from afar, but never had a chance to meet him. And I said, what'd you guys talk about? And he said, well, he won the Platinum Glove at second base a couple of years ago, so I picked his brain about playing second base.
Good idea.
Yeah. But the locker setup, Ernie told me, on that side of the clubhouse was Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Ernie Clement, and Bryce Terang.
All the stars.
And in Pat Murphy's office before the game, the Brewers manager, I asked him a question about Terang, and he brought up Clement. And Murphy said that Turang told him what a great guy Clement, and none of this is news to Blue Jays fans, but what a great guy Clement is and how much he enjoyed meeting him and being his teammate. You know, the kind of thing you got a buddy for life.
Very cool and very smart of Ernie. Why wouldn't you pick the brain of a Platinum Glove winner over there? Bryce Turang has really turned into a very good player.
Ernie told me between Turang and Jimenez, who also won a Platinum Glove at second base, now the shortstop, of course, but he's got two of the best guys in baseball to talk to about playing second base. 2-2 on Gary Sanchez. Turang leaning but not going, and it's in the dirt. Now 3-2, and we'll see if Pat Murphy starts the runner here.
It's a gamble with a strikeout pitcher on the mound, but you can also maybe expect another splitter, which is a good pitch to run on. They may push the envelope a little bit for a team that's having trouble scoring runs. Might have to get creative.
He's going. And it is ball 4. So the Brewers have the first 2 men on here in the bottom of the 4th.
Tough too on a pitch like that, because as a catcher you have to come up and get ready to throw. And you may block out the umpire a little bit, but obviously the pitch just off the edge.
Right, but if you had a challenge, that wouldn't be a problem. But again, the Blue Jays have lost both of their challenges very early in this game. So now it's first and second, nobody out for Jake Bauers, getting most of the playing time at first base with Andrew Vaughn on the IL. Vaughn fractured the hamate bone in his left hand on opening day. Hopes to be back in early May. And a strike, 0-1. You know, I think if you stack up Andrew Vaughn, Jackson Chourio, and Christian Yelich on one side, and Addison Barger, Alejandro Kirk, and George Springer on the other side, I mean, both teams are without 3 of their most important offensive players.
Pretty fair fight with all of them. Pretty fair fight with teams missing 3 of their top players. And this is where, you know, Pat Murphy talked about that today. He's not asking for players to step up. He wants guys to do what they do. When you start trying to do more than you're capable of, that's when you get more problems.
A well hit ball going a long way to left center, and it's gone. Jake Bauers got all of it, and the Brewers jump on top.
Well, Jake Bauers isn't trying to do anything more than he's capable of. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and he gets a fastball. Looked like Valenzuela maybe wanted this more up and away, and you can see the reaction of the catcher. He left it right at the bottom of the plate in the middle of the zone. A lot of power in that bat from the left-handed hitting first baseman.
That's already his 5th home run of the season, filling in admirably for the injured Andrew Vaughn. And it is 3-0 Milwaukee. Boy, and on a night where Jacob Mizorowski has been as sharp as he has been, 3 feels like a lot, but there is still a long way to go in this one. Luis Matos, the batter, 0 for 1. And he's got a base hit. And all of a sudden, a lot of sharp contact off Gausman here in the 4th.
Well, he got Matos on a fastball in his first time up. He opts to go to the splitter this time, and again, middle of the plate, even though it's down. Good pitch to hit for a guy like that at bottom half of the order. Might even be doing him a little bit of a favor if you throw that splitter for a strike.
Matos can run a little bit. Valenzuela's gone to the mound for a conversation with Gausman. And now it's going to be Garrett Mitchell, the center fielder. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. The 8th time in his career that Kevin Gausman has faced the Brewers, but kind of surprisingly, he's never pitched here. The previous 7 were all with whatever his home team, his team, happened to be at the time at their home ballpark. Ball 1.
This is where you have to take care of the bottom of the order, though. Keep this at a 3 spot, and you're giving your team a chance still. Don't let it snowball from here.
The Brewers have lost 5 in a row. They were just swept by the Nationals. They are 8-7 on the season after starting 8-2. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
A lot of splitters to Mitchell. I'm sure he's just going to stick with that pitch.
Matos the lead. Not going. Line drive left field. Charging Sanchez makes the catch. Well, he was coming in with a full head of steam and almost looked like he pulled up at the last second, like he almost thought he came in too far.
And he was keeping an eye on that runner at first base. Matos getting off that bag pretty far. Looked like as he caught it, he was thinking of maybe coming up firing. Yeah, he was. Maybe didn't get a grip on the baseball. He did last second adjustment there, didn't he?
It could have been lights. It could have been, you know, maybe it was knuckling a little bit on him. Who knows? Here's Joey Ortiz, the shortstop.
Could certainly be slicing off the bat of a left-handed hitter like that. I say Kevin taking care of the bottom of this lineup. This is as a group taking care of the bottom of this lineup, because defensively too, you've got to play defense behind him.
Runner goes, and it's fouled off by Ortiz.
Pat Murphy playing a little hit and run maybe at the bottom of his order. Got a 1-0 count, hoping for a strike, something he could handle.
Murphy, a longtime head coach. They don't call them managers in college. A longtime head coach at both Notre Dame and then had tremendous success at Arizona State. There's a broken back ground ball, slowly hit left side. Okamoto makes a good play to get Ortiz for the second out. Matos into second.
Fastball in on his hands. You could hear the bat break. Okamoto does a nice job. Got to go for that baseball. Cut your shortstop off. Accurate throw to first. Nicely done.
Took the right angle. Made a good play. So 2 down and a runner at second for David Hamilton, and that brings Okamoto in a little bit to the edge of the grass. Shows bunt and takes a strike. So we mentioned Murphy, tremendous success at the college level, and then Craig Counsell became the manager of the Brewers, and Counsell played for Murphy at Notre Dame. And he hired Murphy as his bench coach. Pat Murphy was the bench coach here for 8 years. Then when Counsell went to the Cubs, Murphy took over as the manager.
And all he's done now is won manager of the year in back-to-back seasons. How about that?
Yeah, and the best record in all of baseball last year. They beat the Cubs in the division series, then were swept by the Dodgers in the NLCS.
And this is an organization that has to do it very smartly. It's not a big payroll team. They're always in the bottom half, even bottom third. Strong farm system. They traded Freddie Peralta from last season.
Right.
That was one of their first moves.
And before that, they had traded Josh Hader, Corbin Burns, Devin Williams. It seems like they make one of those deals almost every year, try to replenish their system. But again, it's about really keeping payroll down. They'll trade a guy when he's got a year or two before free agency, figuring better to get something for him than just let him walk.
And always going to the postseason. 7 of the last 8 seasons.
It is impressive. Used to be in the American League way back in the day. Used to be in the old 7-team American League East with the Blue Jays. Became a National League team in 1998. There you go. 1982 went to the World Series. Lost to the Cardinals. Swing and a miss, and Gausman gets Hamilton to end the inning. But the Brewers have the lead. Jake Bauers with a 3-run homer, and it's 3-0 Brewers.
auto insurance, and you could save more than $1,100.
The Senators have punched their ticket to the playoffs. And tomorrow night they will wrap up the regular season by hosting the Maple Leafs on Scotiabank. Wednesday night hockey, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sportsnet. Here at American Family Field, the roof closed with all kinds of storms in the area. Tornado warnings about an hour ago, but haven't seen a recurrence of that. All of our phones buzzed just moments before first pitch tonight, giving us that alert, but hopefully things are calming down outside as this game moves to the 5th. 3-0 Milwaukee with Nathan Lucas leading it off against Jacob Mizorowski. Lucas was called out on strikes his first time up, one of 4 strikeouts Mizorowski has so far. Grounded to short, a couple of steps to his right is Ortiz, and they'll get Lucas by a step. Mizorowski has been dealing. Their opening day starter this year in his first, what should be his first full year in the big leagues, is now Kazuma Okamoto steps in. Broke his bat, hit a soft liner to second, back in the second. And a slider for a strike. And 2.
He's in the zone with his breaking pitches better than he is with his fastball. That's a tough one.
And he's in the zone in general much more than he normally is. Kevin Gausman probably thinking about that home run that he gave up, and now Pat Murphy, and it looks like a member of the training staff for the Brewers, coming out to the mound.
I think this was initiated by the catcher Contreras, because Mizorowski was waving him back, and I think Contreras saying no, he saw something.
It looks like Mizorowski's laughing, so it looks like everything is okay, but that was a little bit unusual.
I wonder maybe if did he do something that looked like it could be pain related, but it was misinterpreted by his catcher. Right there. Is he holding his side maybe? That's where Contreras said, hey, hold on now.
Well, you can understand why Contreras reacted the way that he did.
And you can't let pitchers talk you out of those, because if he did that, there could be something bothering him.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out Okamoto for out number 2. Did not throw him a fastball in that at bat.
Well, Okamoto is seeing more and more spin, and again, remember I talked earlier about his pull swing. If you're pulling off the baseball, the pitches away from you and going away from you are going to be much more difficult to handle, and they're taking advantage of him right now.
So 2 down for Andres Jimenez, who was called out on strikes in the 3rd. 2 hits for the Blue Jays. They both belong to Jesus Sanchez.
The other thing that Mizorowski does, he's got a low release. So that low release, plus he's 6'7", great extension. So it's just tough to pick up, I'm sure, for hitters. It's as though he's still holding that right side, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Contreras was onto something, and they may have a talk with him in the dugout after this inning. The way he put his right hand on his hip again after that pitch. Jimenez lifts one high and deep to right field, and it is gone. Number 3 on the season for Andres Jimenez. And the Blue Jays have their first run of the night.
Well, Andres Jimenez will tell you that he's thinking more middle of the field and keeping the ball down low, line drive oriented, but he has got some pop in that bat. And we will see him do this on occasion. And this was a no-doubter.
What a nice start he is off to this season. And he did this last year as well. But remember, played through some injuries later on and really had some slumps during the middle of the season as well. But a lot of optimism that he could be a much more productive offensive player this year than he was a year ago.
And that's called staying on the fastball, because you're down in the count 1-2, but I'm sure he is just cheating to fastball. That's in off the plate. So to get to that pitch, you have to be just sitting on it, cheating a little bit, and he gets the barrel there. That's how you have to beat Mizorowski. If he throws a breaking pitch away, you may look silly, but you have to take that gamble when you're facing a tough pitcher.
It's just 15.5 games in, but he is the club leader in home runs and RBIs. Grounded over the mound right to Ortiz at short. He'll throw out Valenzuela to retire the side. After 4.5, Brewers 3, Blue Jays 1. Let's get an update with Jamie Campbell.
Dan, this is the in-game tracker brought to you by Bet365. Let's start at Yankee Stadium.
It's a very good left-handed swing, and this is a pretty good fastball in off the plate. Not only does he get the barrel to it, but you keep it fair, you keep that straight. Normally hitters will come around that baseball and they'll hook it foul down the right field line. Great swing overall, but even better is the approach. Selling out a little bit with 2 strikes. It's a gamble hitters don't usually take, but you have to when you're facing a high-powered right-hander like Mizorowski.
So they get 1 of the 3 back.
That's a big run, too. After giving up 3, you come back, you punch back with 1, you're right back in this ball game.
Bottom 5, top of the order for Kevin Gausman to deal with. Sal Frelick, William Contreras, and Bryce Terang. Frelick is 1 for 2, had a base hit his last time up. The 0-1. And Gausman quickly out in front, 0-2. 71 pitches now as he gets to work here in the bottom of the 5th. Had a pretty long first inning in terms of pitch count, quick second and third, and then the long 4th, including that 3-run home run by Jake Bauers. The Yankees are having a tough time tonight. The Angels are up on them 6-0 in the Bronx. The Angels have hit 4 home runs in that game. A wild game between the Angels and the Yankees last night at Yankee Stadium. Mike Trout hit 2 homers. Aaron Judge hit 2 homers. And the Angels took a 10-8 lead to the bottom of the 9th inning, sent Jordan Romano to the mound, and Romano had been very good so far this year.
Hadn't given up a run, had he?
Had not given up a run until last night. Gave up a 2-run home run to Trent Grisham to tie it, and then eventually a wild pitch thrown by Romano brought in the winning run for the Yankees. As there is ball 4, a leadoff walk to Frelick, and that's the 3rd walk given up by Gausman, who, as we all know, does not usually struggle in that department.
And that fastball uncharacteristically got away from Kevin. Not even close.
Gausman did not walk anybody in either of his first 2 starts against the A's or the Rockies, and then walked 2 in 5 1/3 against the Dodgers. Here's Contreras, 0 for 1.
Shutdown inning here is so critical because the Blue Jays, by getting that run back, they just feel right back in this game. If they don't score there, I guarantee you that dugout's pretty flat over there, down 3-0 facing Mizorowski. So you got to put a 0 up here to keep that momentum in your favor.
Base hit into right field for Contreras. Up to second goes Frelick.
Contreras got to a fastball again. This one out over the plate, catches a lot of plate, down to 93 from Gausman. Smoking it into right.
And the Brewers are threatening. The first 2 have reached in the bottom of the 5th. For Bryce Terang, 1 for 2, had a base hit and scored last inning. Okamoto even with a bag at third. Guerrero backed up at first. And Gausman jumps out in front. Milwaukee's first round pick in 2018 came out of high school, did not make his major league debut until 2023 as a 23-year-old, and has just been getting better and better every year. 2 balls and a strike.
It's a team that does not chase a whole lot, so that's Kevin's game, is to try to get them to chase that splitter down. They've been pretty good in that department tonight.
And a called strike. It is 2-2. And activity in the bullpen. Braden Fisher has just gotten up. Everybody had a day off yesterday. Obviously, Fisher has had 2 days off. He pitched 2 innings on Saturday, didn't pitch Sunday. Now full.
Tough spot here. You've got a guy that's not chasing the splitter down. The last thing you want to do is give him a 3-2 fastball on the plate.
And a low fastball fouled off, still full.
Take your chances with that splitter. Maybe throw that one that carries the bottom of the zone as opposed to the put away splitter.
3-2 again, and it's a fastball, and it's fouled back. Gausman finding a little more velocity here on these last couple of pitches, both of them 95. A number of 95s here in this at bat to Terang. Big spot here in the 5th inning. Swung on and missed. He got him for out number 1.
There it is. Kept it close enough, and I think it's the 2 fastballs ahead of that pitch. You've got him in swing mode, and that's why it's so important for Kevin to be in the zone with this 4-seam fastball. Get the hitter in that swing mode, and that may have helped him get that swing and miss on the splitter.
Now Gary Sanchez. Flied out to left in the 1st, walked and scored in the 4th.
He's been working him inside. First 2 plate appearances.
0-1. Sanchez, after a number of years with the Yankees, played for the Twins, the Mets, the Padres, the Brewers, the Orioles, and now back to the Brewers. Still a dangerous power threat. 33 years of age. A look back by Gausman. And the 0-1. Got him to swing over the top of it. 0-2. Back-to-back splitters to get ahead. Tried it again. Sanchez wouldn't chase.
He had worked some fastballs inside on Sanchez earlier. This is the time that maybe after these splitters you could sneak a fastball in there, maybe jam him and get a weak ground ball, because he's a guy you can turn to on.
Long look back at Frelick, the runner at second. On the appeal, did not go, and it is 2-2.
think he's told us how he wants to get him out.
Splitters. All 4 pitches in this at bat so far.
Get that fastball in on his hands. That one.
Right there. Exactly what you asked for. Very shallow center field, and it'll be Clement to make the catch for the second out. That was tricky.
Nice job by Ernie. The outfielders, both Varsho and Lucas, were taking a while to come in. Usually you'll see the outfielder try to call the infielder off, but Ernie stays with it. Something he has to do, but he did a little twirly too there too. Varsho kind of looking strange.
And an alert Kevin Gausman getting to second base.
Trying to get out of this inning.
So 2 down. Can he finish it off? He's got to deal with Jake Bauers, who homered off him his last time up. And a strike. That catches the outside corner, barely if it did, and it's 0-1.
Real high target that time from Valenzuela. Remember, the home run was a fastball down in the zone.
Out in front, 0-2.
Trying to elevate this time because on the home run, fastball down in the zone, and he raked it out of there going the other way.
It's a lot of power to the opposite field.
Sure is. Watch this setup from Valenzuela here.
0-2 pitch. And a broken bat grounder rolled up the middle. Jimenez got to hurry, and they get him by a step. And after the first 2 reached, Kevin Gausman does an outstanding job to get out of it. Jimenez makes the play behind him, and it's still 3-1 Milwaukee now at the end of 5. Back again this season, Barbie Day returns to Rogers Center. On May 9th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a reversible Barbie bucket hat. Celebrate all things Barbie with music, performers, and activities throughout the ballpark. Grab your tickets now at BlueJays.com/promotions. Got some Jays fans scattered around American Family Field here for this midweek series between the Blue Jays and the Brewers. It's 3-1 Milwaukee, top 6. And the top of the order to face Jacob Mizorowski. Ernie Clement getting his 3rd look at the hard-throwing right-hander. Clement is 0 for 2. Most of his teammates are also 0 for 2. The only exceptions, Jesus Sanchez 2 for 2 with a couple of base hits, and Andres Jimenez 1 for 2 with a home run. Bounce to short, backhanded by Ortiz. Good play to get him.
And that's what Mizorowski does by setting up the fastball a couple of times. Just gets you out front of the slider, because that's why when he gets ahead like that, it wasn't like that at the start of the game, but he is just firing strike 1 to every hitter since.
Number 2 hitter again tonight is Dalton Varsho. A strikeout and a fly ball to left. And Varsho hits one a long way to right field. Frelick back at the wall. It's gone. 3rd home run of the season for Dalton Varsho, and the Blue Jays are back within 1.
Well, Dalton looked like he was just trying to be on time to the fastball, and he timed that slider up from the right-handed pitcher. It's coming into him, and with his bat speed, when he squares it up, good chances leaving the ballpark.
Boy, is he hot right now. 7 for his last 17, including 3 homers and 2 doubles. Here's Vladdy.
That's the benefit of having a breaking ball coming into you. Coming right into his swing plane, and he did not miss it.
That's just off the corner. Activity now in the Milwaukee pen. The lefty is DL Hall. The righty is Grant Anderson. Now Guerrero shoots a ball to right field, and that's a base hit. Blocked by Frelick to keep it in front of him, but it's a 1-out single for Guerrero.
Well, I'm not sure if he's trying to bury the slider. Looked like maybe he was trying to backdoor it, but the danger you have when you're pitching to Dalton Varsho is that breaking ball, an off-speed pitch of any sort, coming back into him, right into that swing plane. That's a big mistake to a very dangerous hitter.
Took him a while to get going this year, but boy, is he going right now. And now William Contreras may be buying a little bit of time for the bullpen to get going. And now here comes Pat Murphy. This could be it, as the Milwaukee manager is making a slow stroll out towards the first baseline. The left-handed hitting Jesus Sanchez is due up, and Murphy just made the signal. He wants the lefty in DL Hall. So Mizorowski out of this game with a 1 out here in the 6th. Catch every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It all begins Saturday on Sportsnet. Now the Blue Jays have gotten back into this one. A fifth inning home run by Andres Jimenez, and then another home run here in the 6th from Dalton Varsho. And you can see the image of left-hander DL Hall as Pat Murphy has gone to his bullpen. Varsho enjoyed that, his 3rd of the season. And here is Hall, who in his 3rd year with the Brewers came over in that same trade with Joey Ortiz for Corbin Burns a couple of years ago. Has not given up a run, has not given up many hits, Joe, but he has had some control problems. Had
some control issues, and against the lefty Sanchez, you'll see a lot of the sinker sweeper combination. See if Sanchez can't get on to one of those sinkers.
Guerrero the tying run at first, 1 out, and that's outside, ball 1.
He has walked 6 in his 7 2/3 innings, although he has not given up an earned run yet this season.
Fly ball left center. Playable for Mitchell. He'll make the catch. Guerrero will take about 4 or 5 steps off the bag to watch the throw, but then retreat to first, 2 down. So now Eloy Jimenez DHing for the 2nd game for the Blue Jays with George Springer on the IL. Jimenez 2 for 4 on Sunday, 0 for 2 on a couple of fly ball outs tonight. Way high. At least as of now, Nathan Lucas is still in the on-deck circle, but a lefty on the mound. Hall's got to face him. He's got to face 3 batters. And the Blue Jays do have Lenine Sosa, Davis Schneider, among others, in that dugout.
He's ready.
And he looks ready. Bouncer to first, and the play will be made by Bowers to retire the side. The Blue Jays get the 1 on the Varsho homer and are back within 1 here in Milwaukee. Don't miss Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's, every Tuesday home game of the 2026 season. Last week, over 100,000 Looney Dogs were consumed. The next Looney Dogs Night comes your way April 28th. Grab your tickets at bluejays.com/tickets. And one of the mainstays, one of the most recognizable things here in Milwaukee forever and ever and ever, the sausage race. They've got the President's Race in Washington, the sausage race here. Ooh. Kevin Gausman back on the mound to begin the bottom of the 6th. A little up and in. Ball 1 to Luis Matos. You and I guessed wrong on this.
Yes, I love this, though, and I just wonder if Kevin Gausman is saying to his manager, there is no way I'm going 5 innings. This team needs length out of its starters.
That took the mask right off of Valenzuela, but he tells David Rackley he's all right, 1-1.
Is he pitching inside to righties a lot more than we're accustomed to seeing tonight? That's what it seems like to me. I love it, yeah. He doesn't have a 2-seam fastball that's going to run in there, so why not throw the 4-seamer in there? He's been getting inside on a lot of these right-handers.
He's always been much more of a north-south guy with a fastball splitter combo rather than an east-west guy. Is now good buddies Fisher and Fluharty are up simultaneously in the Blue Jays pen. Driven to deep left center field. A long run for Varsho. He'll have to play it off the wall. Got it back in a hurry, and Matos turned around and went back to first. That's about as long of a single as you'll ever see.
We have seen more and more opposing base runners trying to take advantage of the arm of Dalton Varsho. What do? When you get to the baseball, get rid of it as quickly as possible, and that will shut down a runner. Dalton bare hands this ball off the wall. Get rid of it, and immediately the runner shuts it down. I think he had a shot to go to second base, but because he saw him barehanded so quickly, he stopped.
Kevin Kiermaier used to tell me that all the time. His first goal is just
get rid of it.
Get rid of it as quickly as you can and try to scare him back to the base, and it worked.
It shouldn't work because we've seen the struggles Dalton's had throwing after his shoulder surgery.
Brandon Lockridge is running at first for Matos, and John Schneider has come to the mound and called for Mason Fluharty. So Kevin Gausman does get into the sixth, but faces just one batter. Gives up the base hit, and now they will hand it off to the bullpen. Well, Dalton Varsho knows he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, but if you can get to it quickly and get rid of it quickly, you can scare him back every now and again. And Luis Matos was halfway to second, then turned around and went back.
And it's the way he picked it cleanly off the wall, too, with his bare hand. Jimenez ends up missing the baseball. I still think as an opposing base runner, you still have to challenge him, even though he comes up with it cleanly like that. He is going to try to get it to the cutoff man as quickly as possible or to that base.
So Kevin Gausman done for the night. Lockridge, the pinch runner, that runner his responsibility. Mason Fluharty is in to face the left-hand hitting Garrett Mitchell, who squares and takes down and away ball one.
Both Vladdy and Okamoto charging hard on that bunt attempt. If it's hit hard right at them, they might have a shot at second base.
Popped up, back into the screen, 1-1.
Lockridge runs very well, so it would have to be a real bad bunt hard right at you to think about going to second.
Milwaukee will play this brand of baseball more than most. Bottom part of the order. Mitchell, the number 7 hitter. He squares again. And it is 2 balls and a strike.
Fluharty pitched a scoreless inning, striking out a pair on Sunday against the Twins.
Lockridge the lead, being held on by Guerrero. Okamoto in at third, and it is outside now, 3-1.
I don't think he'll be running with nobody out with the left-hander on the mound. That'll neutralize him a little bit.
Ball 4. So it's first and second with nobody out.
Wonder sometimes too if that hitter squaring can distract the pitcher, and look like Fluharty just fighting the zone that whole at bat.
Now the shortstop Joey Ortiz, who has hit a couple of ground balls to third, and he's a possible bunting candidate as well. It's a little bit different here because it's a force play at third, right? So maybe a little bit easier to get the lead runner, depending on where he bunts it.
Such good speed on the bases, though. All you've got to do is get it on the ground.
And a pitch clock, a timing violation on Ortiz. So it is going to be 0-1. Well, I wonder if that changes their game plan now that they just lost a strike. He squares nice and early, keeps it out there and bunts it to third. Perfectly executed by Ortiz to advance the runners on a sacrifice.
Well, you can't lay it down any better than that. He bunts it right at the third baseman. You force him to come and field the baseball so that the runners can move up. Vladdy's charging hard. Okamoto's coming. His only play is to first base. Textbook.
So it is second and third with one out. Valenzuela's gone to the mound. The infield looks like they're going to be playing in and out. Pete Walker wants to join this conversation. It is a pinch hitter. Luis Rengifo is in the on-deck circle to bat for David Hamilton. That's what all this is about. Veteran switch hitting infield, former Angel. You can see him right there with his right hand looking back to his hitting coach and mimicking the release points of pitches as if to say he's got this and a this and a this, right?
The cutter and the sweeper from Fluharty. He's mixed in the odd changeup away to righties, but I don't think we're going to see it in these big time situations. This is where the speed of the Milwaukee Brewers comes to play. When I said coming into this series, they're not swinging it a whole lot. They've got guys injured. They're going to try to create havoc. This inning is showing it right here. This is where defense becomes critical.
Lockridge, the runner at third, Mitchell at second, one out, and the infield in for Rengifo. Fouls it off, 0-1.
I like the idea of throwing that cutter from Fluharty in on the right-hander's hands. You're trying to get him jammed so that he can't flip a baseball out to the outfield to cash in a run in the air.
Because Rengifo's batting for the right side, Okamoto's playing very close to third base, and that prevents Lockridge from getting much of a lead over at third. And that could be the difference in a play at the plate if there were to be one. Couple of strikes on him, and obviously Dalton Varsho's got information about Rengifo with 2 strikes because he just went to a whole different part of center field after the count went to 0-2.
2 strikes going oppo now.
That's a foul ball.
He's going for the swing and miss there, but I still like the harder pitch, the cutter, in on Rengifo right here. I think by flipping that sweeper out over the plate, slower speed, you're allowing him, even if you're out front, to flip the barrel to the baseball, to flip it out to the outfield.
So the cutter in.
Stay hard, yes.
And maybe a ground ball to third or something like that.
Or a jam shot, pop up, any of that, yeah, but nothing hard hit to the outfield if you stay in, and it's got to be elevated too.
Right there. Again. Swing and a miss, and a big second out for Fluharty.
Well, he will take it. It wasn't perfect. They were trying to come up and in, and he missed up and away, but it worked.
Not Rengifo's best swing. 2 down, and now Fluharty has a lefty-lefty matchup with Sal Frelick. The infield can back up, although Okamoto is still playing even a step or 2 inside the bag at third. And Frelick takes a strike. Frelick a pop-up, a base hit, and a walk. Strike 2. And you saw Valenzuela had to reach for it. It wasn't where it was designed to be, but it was in the zone.
Good job by Brandon, too. He set up away, but look where the pitch is. He goes over there, but he holds it there, gives the umpire a good look to get the call.
The 0-2 pitch. That's high.
You don't always get those calls when you have to reach across your body.
The Brewers threatening. Fluharty trying to keep it at a 1-run game. The 1-2 pitch. He went around, and Fluharty gets him. He walked the first batter he faced, but then he retired the next 3, the last 2 by strikeout, and Mason Fluharty gets the job done. Folks, why not come out to the ballpark for a little Sunday afternoon baseball? April 26th, it's the Blue Jays taking on the Guardians. First pitch is set for 1:37 p.m. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/tickets. Couple of hockey fans here at American Family Field in Milwaukee, and we've got a good ball game going. It's 3-2 Milwaukee, top 7. Left-hander Angel Serpa is into the game.
Serpa pitched on Sunday against Washington, took his first loss of the season, just 2/3 of an inning, giving up 4 runs, and he will get Davis Schneider. He's a left-hander that will use the sinker-slider combination a lot, and a lot of sinkers to right-handed hitters.
So Schneider pinch hitting for Nathan Lucas. And the 7th inning is underway with a strike. Couple of defensive changes for the Brewers as well. Lockridge stays in the game and left. And Rengifo stays in the game at third. Schneider productive in limited opportunities. Ooh, boy. Oh, man. That is as big a hack as he can take, and he is known as a guy who takes a big hack.
Slider is coming back into him. I think he was trying to tie the game.
Swing and a miss. Serpa will get him one down. Are you a Rogers customer? Watch for Canada's winning inning during the game. When the Blue Jays get a hit, you could win amazing prizes courtesy of Rogers Beyond the Seat. One down. Here is Kazuma Okamoto, 0 for 2. Okamoto hitting in the 7 spot tonight. Serpa, a big part of Team Venezuela, the winning team in the WBC. He made 6 scoreless appearances in the WBC for Venezuela. That is going to be gloved on a couple of bounces. It's short. A great play by Ortiz, but Okamoto beats it out for a base hit.
Well, it cost Okamoto a bat, but he will make that trade right now for certain. Great effort by the shortstop Ortiz coming up, but Okamoto just beats it out.
So the tying run is aboard with 1 out in the 7th. And here's Andres Jimenez, who was a teammate of Serpa's, of course, on Team Venezuela at the WBC. Jimenez homered his last time up, his 3rd of the season. Grounded to 3rd. On to 2nd for 1 and back to 1st. That's a 5-6-3 double play turned by the Brewers. And that is that for the Blue Jays here in the top of the 7th. A pitcher's duel early between Kevin Gausman and Jacob Misiorowski. Jake Bauers with a 3-run homer in the 4th for the Brewers. The Blue Jays respond with home runs from Andres Jimenez and Dalton Varsho. It's a 1-run game going bottom 7. And here's Braden Fisher.
6 games for Fisher now. He's pitched 8 1/3 innings, just 1 walk against 10 strikeouts. Pitched 2 scoreless innings on Friday against the Twins, striking out 4.
Back end of the bullpen has been very, very good for the Blue Jays. William Contreras is going to lead it off. 2-3-4 in the Brewers lineup here this inning. Contreras a walk, popped up in foul territory, and then a base hit. Davis Schneider remains in the game and left, and that'll move Jesus Sanchez over to right after Schneider pinch hit for Nathan Lucas. Everybody's booing, but it was a curveball, and it's 1-1. And a high fly to shallow left over towards the line. It's going to be Jimenez, the shortstop, going way out there to make the catch. 1 down.
Rogers really takes charge here, and that's what you want from your shortstop, especially with Davis Schneider just entering the game in left field. Take charge, take control, and take it yourself.
1 down for Fisher, and now Bryce Terang, 1 for 3. Singleton scored in the 4th. A little buckle there from Terang on that breaking ball, in for a strike.
See, Terang's got that big leg kick, and he really rides that back hip. That's what drives his success. Maybe slow it down with those slower curveball, Fisher's thinking.
And again in there, it's 0-2, back-to-back curves for called strikes.
Hitters like this will have that back front leg up, and they'll be in that back hip ready to hit and fire on a fastball, but really mess with their timing with the slow breaker.
Fisher opting for the slider there, and it's fouled off. High fastball for ball 1. Abner Uribe is up in the Brewers pen, and he falls into the nasty category.
We say that a lot, don't we?
At the knees for strike 3 called, and out number 2.
Well, Braden Fisher really threw him a wrinkle by slowing up those breaking pitches, and Brandon Valenzuela may have bought his pitcher a strikeout. Looks like it's just below the zone. A nice job again by the young catcher. Really feeling comfortable behind the plate right now.
Brewers still do have 1 challenge remaining, but Terang opts not to use it. The Blue Jays are out of challenges. 2 down, and here's Gary Sanchez. And he has kind of a late swing on that slider there, and swings under the bottom of it. It's 0-1.
See some funny swings at Fisher's slider, right? It can sometimes almost look like it's backing up.
He got a lot of this one, though, and hits a towering fly ball to left and into the second deck for a home run to make it 4-2.
Well, you said it earlier, Gary Sanchez is a very dangerous hitter. Braden Fisher opted to go back to that curveball, but he left that in his wheelhouse. Hung on the inner half. First run given up this season by Braden Fisher.
And the lead is back to 2 for the Brewers. Here's Jake Bauers, who gave them that lead with a 3-run homer back in the 4th. One and one. Two balls and a strike. And that's at the knees. Good spot there for the curveball. 2-2. Bauers asked for his timeout. You can already see Fisher shaking and then nodding as even before Bauers gets back in the box. Valenzuela is sending the sign out his way.
We talked earlier about Fisher using that fastball a little bit more, just to be a little more unpredictable. I haven't seen a lot of them tonight.
Didn't throw it there. The slider fouled back. He got 3 called strikeouts with the fastball on Saturday, and all of them were down near the knees. And he told us, Graham Johnson, the bullpen coach for the Blue Jays, said he was just trying to get the ball down. Aim for the plate, like aim for the ground where the plate is.
Try to spike it.
Yeah. He stays with the curve, but he gets Bowers. So he strikes out 2 in the inning, but he does surrender a home run to Gary Sanchez. It is 4-2 Brewers at the end of 7, and time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie and Madison. On Sunday, and you could be next. Sales are open for the next 50-50 homestand jackpot, and there are some incredible prizes up for grabs, including a trip to see the Blue Jays in Boston and a dream getaway to Bora Bora. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 to get your tickets from participating provinces. Have you ever been to Bora Bora?
No.
I haven't either.
Should try it.
We should. I don't think they have a professional baseball team.
I don't mean to go work there.
Yeah, that's true.
I was thinking of leisure.
Yes. It is 4-2 Brewers going to the top of the 8th inning, and here is Abner Uribe.
Uribe, 6 games. He gave up a couple runs in his last outing. 2 of the 3 runs he's given up this season happened in his last outing. High 97+ mile-per-hour sinker and a slider. 2 pitches.
And Lenin Sosa is going to make his Blue Jay debut, pinch hitting for Brandon Valenzuela. Just acquired yesterday for a minor league outfielder, and either a player to be named later or cash considerations. Off to a slow start with the White Sox this year. Last year hit 22 home runs and drove in 75. He is an aggressive hitter. He plays second, third, and first, but is not a great defender. He is a below average defender. But they got him to start against lefties, and John Schneider said at times to start against righties, at least until some of the other guys get healthy. They're looking for a bit of a spark. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
Well, he knows right now the Blue Jays need a base runner. He needs to find a way to get on to bring that tying run to the plate, and the lineup turns over.
.26 years of age, from Venezuela. Again, 264, 22 homers, 75 driven in last year. Only walked 18 times. Struck out 127 times. But was productive because of the power. To center field, dropping for a base hit. Let's go to Hazel.
Sosa told me he wasn't expecting the trade. He said it was very surprising, obviously, because he felt a little sad to leave the Chicago White Sox and join the Blue Jays. But right now he's feeling good, and he was told that he will get his opportunities to play, something he didn't get a whole lot of in Chicago earlier this year. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. The Blue Jays optioned Tyler Fitzgerald to Buffalo to make room for Sosa. Here's Ernie Clement. So it's top of the order. Clement representing the tying run. Ernie tonight 0 for 3. Hooked foul out in front of the slider, and it's 0-2.
If you're gearing up for the 97, you might be out front of the slider, but the big part of Sosa getting on base is depending on what Ernie can do. You've got 2 big-time power bats coming up in Varsho and Vladdy.
And you got a big hole on the right side of the infield right now as well. On the appeal, he went around. Clement didn't like it, but he is out. That is out number 1.
Another good slider from Uribe, and Ernie just cannot hold up. Very close. That's the worst half a second right there, when you feel like you didn't go And then when you look down at the first base umpire, you're just hoping to see his hands come out.
Here's Dalton Varsho. Varsho homered his last time up. His third of the season, and they have all come in his last 4 games. Swings over the top of it, 1-1. Tommy Nance and Tyler Rogers both getting loose.
Good sink to that pitch from Uribe.
And 99.
Yeah.
Broken bat, fly ball, shallow center, and down for a base hit. Sosa's trying for third and is safe. Or will he be? The Brewers may have a look at it. Sosa made the turn and came to third. Is called safe. Varsho's into second. Will the Brewers challenge? They are going to.
This was a little bit too aggressive, I think, when you're down 2 runs this late, right in front of the center fielder. Garrett Mitchell has a good arm in center. The throw was off to the left a little bit.
And his left leg, which was his lead leg, isn't the one that eventually got to the base. His back foot got to the bag. And did that happen before the tag on the chest? He seems pretty relaxed about it right now, talking to Rengifo, but this is a nervous moment in his Blue Jay debut. The call on the field is safe. Will that make the difference? Will that be the difference?
Awkward slide could be what's making this difficult to determine.
There's the crew chief, Chris Guccione. They are having a long look at this one. This might be the longest one of these we've seen this season. And it's a big one.
And could it be because of the way he bounced at the bag, the way he went in so hard? Either way, it was too much of a gamble for me in this situation. Down 2.
Down
take
2,
take
right.
the 90 feet. You've got 2 on.
And
1 out. And Vladdy
coming.
Those are all things you have to consider as a base runner.
Yep.
And we'll see. Hopefully he gets away with it.
Here it comes. Maybe not.
After review, call on the field stands. The runner is safe.
Ooh.
Milwaukee will lose their challenge.
They dodged one there, Joe.
Yep. The way Garrett Mitchell was coming up making that throw, and he's got a good throwing arm. It was just off to the left of here, and that's what cost him. And he took a gamble. Sosa did and won.
That was about as close as it gets, and the Blue Jays, it feels like they were fortunate that that didn't get overturned. So now the tying runs are in scoring position. There's a base open. The batter is Guerrero. Infield is back, and Guerrero takes it for a strike.
This is an interesting move by Pat Murphy. Now, he would be the go-ahead run if you put him on, but clearly he's saying, I'll take my chances. So Sanchez in the on-deck circle providing a little protection.
This is the Blue Jays' first at bat tonight with a runner in scoring position. An area in which they have struggled really ever since about the first 4 games of the season. They are near the bottom in the majors. in how they have done with the runners in scoring position. I believe it is 217. Yes, 217 on the season. That is 25th in the majors. Guerrero pulls one to short. This will get a run home, but Guerrero is out, so a ground out produces a run to make it a one-run game. Sosa's in, Varsho to third, but 2 down.
Well, he went to the slider and got him out front, got him to roll over. And I think Uribe will take that off the bat of Vladdy.
And here comes Chris Hook, the pitching coach for the Brewers, on his way to the mound. Jesus Sanchez is the batter. If you look at the offensive differences between these two teams, and granted, the Brewers are a little bit better than the Blue Jays if you look at a number of different categories, but then you look at the runs scored, and they're way ahead of the Blue Jays. And it's almost entirely what the two teams have done with runners in scoring position. The Blue Jays are 217 with 0 home runs with runners in scoring position. The Brewers came in at 291 with 9 home runs with runners in scoring position, and Jake Bauers hit one tonight. It's just night and day the way these two teams have performed in key situations.
And Vladdy cashed in a run there, but not with a hit. Trying to bring both in to tie the game, and they get one home. Now it's up to Sanchez,
who is 2 for 3 on the night. The tying run at third, and Varsho can get a big lead because Sanchez is a left-handed batter. Rengifo's way off the line. Anything in the dirt could get interesting. Slider in there for a strike.
Sanchez hit both fastballs off Mizorowski earlier in the night on his base hits, both fastballs inside.
In the dirt, but Contreras keeps it with him. Again, anything that bounces away, you know that Varsho will be thinking hard about racing home.
And pretty tough to get down and block. 99 sinker. You're going to just try to pick it, and he did. A lot of movement.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Just foul. Boy, he almost squibbed that up the line to tie the game.
It would have been his third hit of the game. Similar style, just finding holes. He did go to the slider. I thought he was going to try to get him out with the slider, and he still might, but just missing that third base bag.
Maybe a foot. Again, the 1-2, and it's fouled off at the plate.
It's a good job by Sanchez getting to that pitch. Elevated at 97.
Uribe the set. And again the 1-2, and it's taken low. That was triple digits.
With sink.
Now the 2-2. Grounded out to short. Ortiz has it, and the Blue Jays will get just the one. To the bottom of the 8th, the Brewers lead 4-3.
James Wan and Blumhouse bring you a new terrifying horror in Lee Cronin's The Mummy. In theaters, April 17.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at American Family Field in Milwaukee. It's the Brewers 4, the Blue Jays 3. As the Blue Jays got one in the top of the 8th inning, still trail by 1. And here's Tyler Rogers into the game.
35-year-old right-hander, 7 games for the Blue Jays. Pitched on Sunday, a scoreless inning from down under. Sinker slider to these righties and mostly sinkers to lefties. Tyler Heineman now. That's a good sign that he's good to go.
Yep. Back spasms bothering him. He didn't play at all over the weekend, but the off day yesterday got some treatment, feels better, so he's in there. That allowed them to pinch hit Sosa for Valenzuela. 1-1 the count on Brandon Lockridge. Bounce back towards the mound. Rogers has it and on to first in time for the out as we say hello again to Hazel.
Tyler Rogers and Kevin Gausman were teammates for 2 seasons in San Francisco, but he also told me that Tyler Heineman caught him for his very first career save back in 2019, also as member of the Giants. The two, of course, reunited here with the Blue Jays, and Heineman tells me that Rogers and that familiarity between the two can only be an advantage working together. Guys?
No question about it. Tyler Heineman has, he's bounced around.
He's been around a little bit, yes.
Miami, San Francisco, Toronto, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Boston, Toronto. He couldn't get enough of Toronto, and they couldn't get enough of him. He's been with the Blue Jays 3 different times, and that's just the major league teams that he has been with. He's been with 5 or 6 other organizations in their minors over the years. Two 2-0 the count on Garrett Mitchell, who swings through it. It's 2-1. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Brewers. 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for the Blue Jays. The Brewers have left 7. The Blue Jays have left 4. Outside, 3-1. And a ground ball backhanded out at short. Jimenez a little trouble getting it out of the glove, and that may have been the difference.
Garrett Mitchell gets down the line very well, and you just cannot afford a bobble. Jimenez frustrated with himself, just could not get a clean handle of the baseball in this exchange, and that bobble right there cost him. There's that speed again from this Brewers lineup that can put pressure on the defense.
And let's see if Mitchell's in the mood to try to steal second. The batter is Joey Ortiz. Runner not going, and it's taken high, ball 1.
You would think they would take a shot, especially with that delivery from Rogers.
And down at the bottom of the order, 2, where extra base hits less likely. Not a big lead, not going, and it's fouled off. 1-1. Mitchell 3 steals and 5 tries this year. He is running. It's bounced weakly to Guerrero, who's got to hurry, and he dives and gets him. A very quick athletic play by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to get the second out as Mitchell takes second.
Well, this was a very athletic play by Vladdy. He knew when he picked up the baseball, he didn't have any help at first base. Ernie's going to cover the bag on the steal. He had to really dive out there as far as he could. Almost out of the baseline. Maybe, I see the umpire did not indicate that. He just called him out. You're allowed 3 feet from where your about to be tagged.
And you know what else he did? He picked that ball up with his bare hand, but had to transfer it to his glove hand
to dive over
very quickly because he was not going to be able to reach the runner with his bare hand. It was a really good play. Looking ahead to the top of the ninth, Eloy Jimenez, Davis Schneider, and Kazuma Okamoto, the scheduled batters. Tyler Rogers trying to make sure it is just a one-run deficit. It's Luis Rengifo, this time batting from the left side. He'll look at strike one. Bounced foul, 0-2. In the Brewers' pen, their closer, Trevor McGill, is up. And that just misses. A little bit high. Again, the Blue Jays do not have any challenges remaining. It's ball one. Now to play. The Brewers have lost 5 in a row. The Blue Jays have lost 4 consecutive series, 3-9 in their last 12. Both teams struggling coming in. This is lifted on the infield for Jimenez. And it's a scoreless inning for Rogers, meaning it will be a one-run game going to the ninth here in Milwaukee. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. As a Blue Jay, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Blue Jay Central, 7:40 first pitch on Sportsnet 1. Game 2 between the Blue Jays and the Brewers. Here it's a one-run game. Milwaukee 4, the Blue Jays 3, going to the top of the ninth. This is last chance for the Blue Jays, down by 1, and they will face the closer for the Brewers, but a guy in Trevor McGill, Joe, who is not off to a great start this season.
Well, on Friday, he had some trouble. He did not record an out, allowing 4 earned runs. It was a mess of an inning for him. He's going for his 4th save here. 3 walks and 5 strikeouts in his 4 innings of work this season. High 90s fastball with a curveball. 2 pitches. I'm Eloy Jimenez. I'm looking for that heater to try to tie this thing up.
In that last outing, the Nationals bunted on him not once, not twice, but 3 times. There was a hit, there was an error, and there was a late throw, but the players the Nationals had up, and the situation is different than the kinds of hitters the Blue Jays are coming up. Eloy Jimenez, Davis Schneider, Kazuma Okamoto. You're not bunting here. You're trying to tie it up by getting some hits, but McGill does have trouble fielding his position if anybody were to hit the ball back in his vicinity.
There's the first pitch curveball, and I'm sure Jimenez is looking for the heater.
Jimenez tonight 0 for 3. Swings over the top of the curve. 1-1. Again, Davis Schneider on deck. Kazuma Okamoto due up third. Fastball just off the corner, ball 2.
Got some cut to that fastball, running away from the righty.
Remember, the Blue Jays, if it were to come to this, do not have any challenges remaining. The Brewers do have 1. Ball 3. That is lined hard, but just foul down the left field line.
Wow, that ball was up and in off the plate. Jimenez gets to it and just misses that line. He's on the fastball. That ball will usually hook more off the bat of a right-hander, and hooked a bit, just enough to go foul.
So it's 3-2. And it's ball 4, and the Blue Jays have the leadoff man aboard. And are we going to see Miles Straw pop out of the dugout here to run for him? We sure are. This is the last bench player the Blue Jays have. Straw to run for Jimenez.
That's a great plate appearance by Jimenez in a key situation, waiting out McGill. He goes with a 3-2 curveball, and he's able to lay off.
Now Davis Schneider. Boy, you never know when the moment may find you. Davis Schneider did not start in this game. Came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th, and now he's up here in a huge spot here in the 9th. And it's strike 1 to Schneider. If they had a challenge, he would have used it and he would have won it, but they don't have a challenge. Look at where Contreras is setting up, how far inside he is.
McGill is a guy that you can run on, but Contreras has been very good behind the plate this season throwing. See if he doesn't maybe give Schneider the shot. I think eventually Straw's got to try to steal this base, but maybe not yet with nobody out.
A well hit ball deep center field. Off the wall on a bounce, and it skips off the top of the wall. And the ruling is that it went out of play over the wall and then came back. Schneider with a double. Straw has to stop at third.
What a big hit by Davis Schneider. He got a fastball right in the middle of the plate and down. Exactly where he likes it.
And did it hit? It must have gone up and over and hit the green wall. Yes, it was behind and then bounced back onto the field of play. So Straw has to be held at third. What a big swing for Davis Schneider.
Especially after that first pitch, would look a little up and in. That was called the strike. I don't think he hit his spot there. We know Davis handles that ball very well.
Louis Varland and Jeff Hoffman are both up in the bullpen. The Blue Jays second and third, nobody out for Kazuma Okamoto. 1 for 3 tonight. Had an infield hit his last time up. Straw at third. Infield creeping in for the Brewers. And Okamoto takes ball 1.
He should try to emphasize as much as possible, thinking more right center, staying on that ball, letting it travel, and shooting something hard, preferably in the air, to right center.
You hit a fly ball that way, you might not only get a run home, but you might get Schneider to third with 1 out.
Exactly. The last thing you want to do is get in pull mode, and we know that's his natural swing path because you'll roll it right over to the left side of that infield.
Side, a base hit. Straw will score. Schneider stops at third, and Okamoto has tied the game.
Unless you hit a ground ball to the left side and it goes through, that works. I think McGill got him to do exactly what he wanted him to do. He got the pull side ground ball, but it found a hole between the infielders.
They have tied it up here in the 9th, and still nobody out for Andres Jimenez. 1 for 3, a home run in the 5th. Infield in for the Brewers. And that is at the knees for a called strike.
Call me crazy, Dan, but would you?
Bunt?
Would you put a bunt down here with nobody out? I thought he might do it that first pitch.
I would let him swing. He's swinging it pretty good.
Yeah. I was thinking like safety squeeze.
Yep. Find a way to make contact, get something in the air, get it to the outfield. Davis Schneider is now the runner at third. Tyler Heineman is on deck. The 0-2 fights it off.
Nice job. That's a tough pitch to get to up at the top of the zone.
Another 0-2. And it's bounced to the right side. Terang's got it, but a run will score. And the Blue Jays have taken the lead here in the ninth.
What a great at bat by Jimenez. Got to that 0-2 fastball up and away to stay alive. You foul it off, you get another pitch, and he's able to just put this ball in play, and good things happen.
Davis Schneider right in the middle of it with his booming double. Sometimes you don't have to hit it hard. You just got to put it in play, and Jimenez did that with a couple of strikes on him. So runner at second, one out for Heineman, who hits it foul down the right side. Heineman did not play at all in the Minnesota series, dealing with back issues. The last time Heineman played was the last game of the Dodgers series. McGill steps off. Oh, 0-1 the count. Fouled back, 0-2. Now that the Blue Jays have the lead, it is just Jeff Hoffman up in the bullpen.
That contact ability pays off again. That's a tough pitch too for Jimenez to get to, but he went right down to get it. The curveball almost on the ground.
And we shouldn't forget, and you pointed it out, Eloy Jimenez drawing that leadoff walk. That was a good at bat as well. Did not go. Really, everybody has done their job.
Yeah.
Each guy has executed here in the ninth inning.
You think you're coming up down one with the bottom half of the lineup. These guys have had some great at bats.
Nothing bigger than what that guy did. Davis Schneider with a double. A fly ball shallow left down the line and caught by the left fielder Lockridge for the second out. For the Brewers, it's going to be the top of the order coming up in the bottom of the ninth. Frelick, Contreras, and Terang. This is the first lead the Blue Jays have had in this game. Ernie Clement would love to add to it. And it's into left for a base hit. Okamoto is getting the wave and will score. Out at second is Clement, but he drives in another run. An aggressive send by Carlos Fablis. Okamoto does not run well, but the throw up the line, and Clement with a big extra run. And the Blue Jays will take a two-run lead to the bottom of the ninth. Kazuma Okamoto with an RBI single, and then again, he is not a really fast guy, and we understand there were two outs. You're more aggressive. But Carlos Fabulous sent him. He was giving it everything he had, and the Lockridge throw was offline, and the Blue Jays scored 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning. How good does he have to feel with how much he has been struggling to be in the middle of an inning like that and help the Blue Jays take a 2-run lead to the bottom of the 9th?
So nice to contribute in different ways as well, and a great job by Clement rounding first and continuing on. Sometimes that'll force the catcher out from the plate to come and get you, making sure that runner scores.
So it's Jeff Hoffman on in the bottom of the 9th.
8 games for Hoffman, going for his 3rd save of the season. 2 walks and 17 strikeouts for Jeff in his 7 2/3 innings of work this season. He has been outstanding.
Yeah, he has faced 34 batters and struck out exactly half of them, 17. And he starts Sal Frelick with a strike. Top of the order, Frelick, Contreras, and Terang. Okamoto in on the edge of the grass at 3rd. Guerrero guarding the line at 1st. That's high.
That 2-run lead, and Trevor McGill's had it tough the last couple of outings. Gives you a little freedom as a closer.
Hoffman falls behind, 2-1. Now 3-1.
This is what I meant by the freedom. I think you can go after him with the fastball here. Now he's behind 3-1. Make the first guy beat you with his bat.
But a leadoff walk is immediately going to bring the tying run to the plate. Now William Contreras, 1 for 3 with a walk. On the appeal, did not go. It is ball 1. Runner goes, and it's ball 2. And here are the Brewers kind of doing Brewers things here in the bottom of the 9th, just trying to be a distraction. Now this takes a double play out. In this situation, you could see Contreras squared, no intention to bunt that ball.
And that's the key. That run does not necessarily mean anything, but it takes you out of the double play.
Yeah.
So A, the leadoff walk, and then B, the stolen base. So what you want to do now is just treat this like you're facing the hitter. Never mind the runner on second. He means absolutely nothing. You need to go get 3 hitters out.
Getting louder here at American Family Field right now. The Blue Jays just took the lead, trying to secure a victory. Remember, the Brewers have lost 5 in a row. They're dealing with their own stuff. So Frelick at second.
Contreras, good fastball hitter. They're trying to stay away from him, but they've been missing with the first 2 pitches.
Hoffman sets. And the 2-0. And a strike. 2-1. Ground ball to second. Clement has it. On to first for the out. Frelick takes third, but again, that doesn't matter. They get the first out here in the bottom of the 9th.
They'll take that too. It comes back with the fastball. Stays away from him again.
So runner at third, one out. Everybody on the infield backed up except Okamoto's playing a little bit shallower, but that's just because of the speed of Turang, the kind of hitter that he is. As Turang takes ball one. That pitch coming in just low. 1 for 4 tonight. A base hit and a run scored back in the fourth. Chopped foul, 1-1. A 3-run top of the 9th inning for the Blue Jays. The runs driven in by Okamoto, Andres Jimenez, and Ernie Clement. Davis Schneider with a big double in that inning as well. Trying to hang on and win it. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Okamoto has backed up further at third. Outfielders straight away on Turang. Ground ball through the left side for a base hit. That will get a run home and put the tying run aboard.
Turang so tough. Fastball up and out there. He just bounces it the other way, but finds the hole on the left side. And he runs very well.
Being held on by Guerrero. The batter is Gary Sanchez. There he goes. Sanchez taking. Throw down. Not in time.
Heineman did everything he could to get rid of it quickly, but just not a lot on that throw.
Pitch was called a strike. The batter is challenging.
The pitch was called a strike, and Sanchez is challenging that.
Pitch was called a strike. The batter is challenging. The pitch was called a strike. The batter's challenging.
I think the David Rackley, the home plate umpire, is waiting for the technology to start up here. Now it looks like it's coming. And it is a strike.
Call is confirmed. Milwaukee has 0 challenges remaining.
So the tying run is at second with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. It is 0-1 on Sanchez. Swing and a miss. Good spot for the slider. 0-2.
Good spot for the slider. Good spot against Gary Sanchez. If he can duplicate that, that's a good spot to stay for a couple pitches.
Throw it again, right?
Do it again, and maybe again if you miss.
Sanchez using his timeout.
Remember the home run that he hit off Braden Fisher is a curveball, but his middle in and up. Backed up on him.
Hoffman out in front, 0-2. Threw it again, but on the appeal, no swing, says Chris Guccione, the crew chief down at first. Put it in a good spot.
Well, as a catcher, sometimes you feel like you got to watch Tyler Heineman back there. He sees the bat, asks for the appeal. Do we get it? Oh, thought he had him.
So Hoffman has shown Sanchez 3 sliders in this at bat. A look back in the 1-2. Got him with a fastball. 2 down.
Wow, Hoffman made a great pitch right there. After all the sliders down, they try to elevate, and I'm sure they're going to elevate once. If it's a ball, they're thinking go back to the slider, but he gets the swing and miss up top.
So 2 outs in the 9th inning, and here is Jake Bauers, 1 for 4, hit a home run in the 4th inning. The tying run at second. And the first pitch outside, ball 1. I know it's really unusual to put the winning run on base, but the way Bowers is swinging it, it's 2-0. You've got a right-handed hitter in Lockridge on deck. Do you? Well, there's our answer.
I was going to say pitching him very
there's
carefully.
Our answer. You know what? I think this is the play.
Yeah. You don't want Jake Bowers to beat you.
No. So an intentional walk. And now it'll be a righty-righty matchup with Brandon Lockridge. Lockridge, a 29-year-old, parts of 3 seasons in the big leagues. The pitch. Think that was for real, or just wanted to look one over and maybe mess with Hoffman?
Or maybe mess with Okamoto down there, trying to draw him in, trying to gain any advantage he can. You got to believe he's trying to cash in the tying run here.
The 1-0. Outside, ball 2.
Well, I think he's right where he wants to be, just missing off the outside. And when I say right where he wants to be, sliders away is a good play against Lockridge.
The tense bottom of the 9th here in Milwaukee. The 2-0 pitch. Outside again, ball 3. On deck hitter, left-hand hitting, Garrett Mitchell. In there, 3-1.
I don't think he wants to groove another fastball like that one. I don't doubt he does go back to the slider here.
Shook Heineman off once to get to what he wanted.
Did it.
Down the right side, but out of play. 3-2. He did go back to the fastball.
And it beat him. And I'm thinking Lockridge must be thinking slider too, the way he was late on that fastball.
But now they each have a bit more information based on that last pitch.
This is the chess match right here.
And now the runners will be on the move. Terang from second and Bowers from first. And Lockridge will use his timeout. They're on their feet here in Milwaukee. Hoffman trying to finish it off. The 3-2 pitch, fouled back.
A little closer to being on time for that.
And that was the hardest pitch Hoffman's thrown too. That was 97. Hoffman nods. He's got the one he wants. And again, the 3-2, and it's hit into left, a base hit. And the Brewers have tied it here in the bottom of the 9th.
He went back to the slider trying to get it out there, but look where it ends up. He gets tons of plate. Now I know he's got to keep it on the plate because if not, he walks him. But you got to be thinking there, if you miss with the slider, you walk him, you get the lefty, then you go at him with your splitter. There's so much going on there. I think Jeff wanted that ball away more.
So now Garrett Mitchell's got a chance to win it. 2 on, 2 out. And it's low, ball 1. Bowers came around to third. Lockridge went into second on the play. Okamoto even with the bag, but way off the line at third. Everybody else backed up on the infield. Swing and a miss at a splitter away. 1-1. What a 9th inning. The Blue Jays get 3 in the top half. The Brewers 2 to tie it here in the bottom half. The 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Hoffman about to throw his 30th pitch of the inning. And Louis Varland has gotten back up. So if there's a walk here, we could see a pitching change.
Looked like he just said he's ready.
A slider for a strike. 3-2. The winning run at third. And time. The 3-2. Ball 4. That will load him up. And it looks like that's going to lead to a change. Here's John Schneider, and he wants Louis Varland. Jeff Hoffman could not finish it off, Joe, and it started with a leadoff walk.
The leadoff walk, I go back to that Sal Frelick plate appearance. A couple of splitters, fell behind, ends up putting them on. Got to go after that leadoff guy.
A blown save for Jeff Hoffman tonight as the Brewers get 2 in the bottom of the ninth. They have tied it at 6. The bases are loaded with 2 down. John Schneider has now, Joe, gone to Louis Varland to try to get this game to extra innings.
Louis Varland has been excellent. The Blue Jays need him to be excellent for one batter right here to force this thing into extra innings.
It'll be Joey Ortiz, who is 0 for 3 and hitting just .205 on the season. The runner at third is Bowers, representing the winning run. And Varland out in front, 0-1. Good curveball, good spot. Not much Ortiz could do with it.
Back-to-back curveballs from Varland.
And he got him. Struck him out on 3 pitches. And this game will go to extra innings. I'll tell you what started off as a real pitcher's duel between Jacob Misiorowski and Kevin Gausman. This one got wild late. The Blue Jays 3 in the top of the ninth to take the lead, but the Brewers 2 in the bottom half to tie it. Extra innings here in Milwaukee tonight. The new pitcher for the Brewers, right-hander Grant Anderson.
Anderson will face Dalton Varsho to start things off with Ernie Clement, the automatic runner at second base. 8 games for Anderson. That whip is under 1. He's walked 4 and allowed 4 hits in his 8 2/3 innings. He's also struck out 9.
Got some speed out at second. Ernie Clement is that runner. Varsho, Guerrero, Sanchez. 4th game this season for the Blue Jays to go into extra innings. They are 1-2. Rengifo in on the grass at third. And Varsho takes it outside, ball 1.
Four seam and sinker, along with a sweeper and changeup.
Varsho skies one to shallow right center. Frelick comes way in and makes the catch, and obviously not nearly deep enough for Clement to go anywhere.
It's the right guy you want at the plate right there. You know he can pull the baseball, but Dalton just couldn't get to that elevated fastball and popped it up to shallow right.
So 1 out with a runner at second, and here's Guerrero. Guerrero 1 for 4 tonight, had a base hit in the 6th and then drove in a run on a ground out in the 8th. Down and away, a ball and a strike. Now that this game has gone to extra innings, this is important to mention. Both teams were out of ABS challenges, but if you are out, you get one back at the beginning of an extra inning. So each team does have one ABS challenge now. Guerrero lines it deep left field, and it's off the base of the wall. Clement is in to score, and Guerrero is into second base with a double, and the Blue Jays have taken the lead again.
Vladdy got this pitch up in the zone, and it was a no-doubter over his head. Just a matter of whether it was going to get out of the park or not. But after a couple of sinkers, he comes back with that sweeper, and he leaves it up right in the middle. And he scores easily.
So Guerrero drives in the go-ahead run. It is 7-6, and now the Brewers have intentionally walked Jesus Sanchez to bring up Miles Straw. Straw came into the game as a pinch runner for Eloy Jimenez in the 9th, the last position player for the Blue Jays. So Straw will bat. Straw is the DH. Pinch ran for Jimenez. The DH stayed in the game and takes a strike. And now Straw lines it into the left field corner. Guerrero is in to score. Sanchez is getting the wave, and he is in as well. Miles Straw with a 2-run double.
How many times last year did we see Miles Straw step up with a big hit in a big situation? This went right out over the plate, and he hooks it right into the left field corner.
What a clutch hit. It is 9-6. Straw's running. And the throw to third is not in time. He steals third with 1 out. That is potentially a big 90 feet.
You see him shuffling. He's trying to time that pitcher up, and he did. Very close at third. It looks like the hand is in there.
Looks like the Brewers are challenging. Here comes Chris Guccione, the crew chief.
Milwaukee is challenging the safe call. Third base.
This game has had a little bit of everything. Man, oh man.
Seems like a long time ago that Jacob Mizorowski was pitching with Kevin Gausman.
Man. Too close to overturn, wouldn't you think?
I would think so.
I mean, I don't see clear and convincing evidence he's out. It's pretty much bang bang.
After review, the call on the field is overturned.
Yeah, it's overturned.
The runner is out.
Man. Wrong again.
Wow.
So a good challenge by the Brewers to erase Straw. Now it's 2 out and the base is empty. Davis Schneider, who had that big double in the 9th inning. And a half swing, 2-hopper to first. That will be that. But the Blue Jays, in large part due to Miles Straw. And the big hit by Guerrero in front of them, now lead by 3. So 3 runs in the top of the 10th for the Blue Jays. 1 on a Guerrero double, 2 on a Straw double. And it is 9-6 going to the bottom of the 10th. Miles Straw DHing, right? So he's not even in the field. So strange. Like Straw's not in there for defense. He was in there after pinch running for Jimenez. The DH stayed in the game. Big 2-run double. Louis Varland got the big strikeout of Joey Ortiz to just send this game to extra innings. And now looking to finish it off, bottom 10. Ortiz is the runner out at second for the Brewers, and the batter is Luis Rengifo.
2 big hits in this game. Davis Schneider and Miles Straw coming from guys off the bench. Did not even start the ball game. That's using them all.
In there at the knees, 1-1. After Rengifo, top of the order, Frelick and then Contreras. And a called strike, 1-2, borderline pitch. But it is a strike and it's 1-2 here on a Rengifo. Back to the mound, and Varland made the right play. If it's a 1-run game, you go for the runner going from second to third. But you could see in that moment, he instantly thought, get the sure out.
Your natural reaction is to turn to the runner, and that's a great thing by Louis. Right here, he just said, no, understand the score. You play the scoreboard up 3. We're counting outs right now. That's number 1.
The runner at third does not matter. Here's Sal Frelick. That one sails on Varland up and in, ball 1. You know, with everything happening quickly and your heart rate elevated, not everybody does that, but a smart play by Varland to get an easy out at first. Now a fly ball to shallow center. Varsho coming in will make the catch. The throw to the plate on a bounce. The runner stays at third, and there are 2 outs. This is the Louis Varland we have seen all season. Absolutely dialed in.
Yeah, the velocity is up. The fastball is good. We're seeing him use all of his pitches. Look at that. He's going to pull out the card himself just to make sure I know how I want to face Contreras here.
The tying run is in the on-deck circle. In terrain. The Blue Jays an out away. And a swing and a miss, 0-1. Down and away. Got him at the trade deadline last year for Minnesota, and he has taken his game up a notch here in the early going of his second year as a Blue Jay. Ground ball to the left side. Oh, and Okamoto reached for it and deflected it into left. The third baseman cutting in front of the shortstop, and the general rule is, if you can get it, go get it. But would he have been better off letting Jimenez get it with Contreras not running all that well down to first?
It's a general rule, and I'm saying leave this for your shortstop. Andres Jimenez was surrounding this baseball. It wasn't as though he was diving for it, and that's where you have to know where your shortstop is playing. Andres is ready to glove that ball.
And now a base hit into right center for Turang. Up to second goes Contreras.
So when the shift is on and when guys are moving around to the infield, you want to make sure you know where everybody is. And I think if Okamoto knows Jimenez is right there, you just let him take it. He's squared up for it.
So it is 9-7, a meeting on the mound. The tying run is at first. The winning run is at the plate, and it's Gary Sanchez.
They've had success staying away from him tonight. Kevin was coming inside at times. And the home run off Fisher was a backup breaking ball, not designed to be on the inner half.
Sanchez has never faced Varland. Contreras at second. He doesn't matter. Turang at first. He does. He's the tying run. And the first pitch from Varland is down and away, ball one, and Heineman is challenging. Remember, you get one back if you don't have any.
The catcher is challenging
in extra innings. And it is unsuccessful.
Pitch to the ball. Toronto is out challenges.
Probably not a bad time to take a shot. You get one in the inning, get ahead of Gary Sanchez. 0-1, it's a big advantage.
1-0 fastball drilled in at 98. It's 1-1. And just missed ball two. That one just off the corner, and again they just used their challenge, so nothing Heineman could do there. A stressful night of baseball. Fouled off, and it's 2-2 as Varland has shown Sanchez nothing but the fastball so far in this at bat. Does he stay with it, or does he go to the knuckle curve? The 2-2. Time called. Heineman stepped out from behind the plate, I think.
Was the clock getting
down?
Maybe
the clock was getting down, so Heineman basically took a disengagement, stepped out, took a mound visit, I should say, to prevent it from going to ball three. Now everybody ready to go. And another fastball fouled back.
Surprised he hasn't thrown a curveball yet. I thought he would mix one in here, but seems adamant about staying with the heat.
Another 2-2. Did he go? He did. Sanchez goes around. Varland goes to the curveball, and he strikes him out to end the ball game as the Blue Jays win a wild one here in Milwaukee, 9-7 in 10 innings.
A wild one indeed, and the key word is win. John Schneider and the Blue Jays will take this win any way they can get it. The lineup was relentless all night. The pitching started by Kevin Gausman was pretty darn good until they hit a couple hiccups here late. But Louis Varland eventually makes a big pitch, the one he had to.
What a crazy game. They got some clutch hits late in the 9th, in the 10th. Varland takes it home in the bottom of the 10th, and the Blue Jays win the opening game of this series 9-7. It is time now for Sportsnet Central presented by KFC. Here are Ken and Ivanka.